98 from Castle Rock to Longmont. Now with thousands in savings and leadership and excellence. Schedule online now. PlumLineServices.com, offering carrier. No phone call, no hassle, no wait. Service at home. Servants at heart.
This is Dan Kaplis. A profound lack of respect for human life is causing an explosion of reckless driving, which is leaving a trail of dead and broken bodies on our roadways. Our firm is dedicated to forcing reckless drivers and their insurance carriers to pay in full for all of the harm they inflict. We are a serious firm for serious cases. We accept righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis. If you need our help, please call 303-770-5551 or hit dankapleslaw.com.
It's the Dan Kaplis Show.
Afternoons 4 to 6.
Wednesday 4. This is going to blow you away. I'm going to give you a fact. If every Coloradan knew this fact, it would cause Colorado to reverse Amendment 64 and outlaw all these pot shops. Join me at 4 on the Dan Kaplis Show.
Yeah. Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. Come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. What are we here to do? We're here to help you out. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. We are here to make your life just a little bit better. If you've been ripped off or taken advantage of, or maybe you just want to expose some scumbag contractor that took your money and ran, this, my friends, is the show for you. It's easy to get through. It's the beginning of the show. We got 3 lines open, 303-713-8255, 303 Martino is the number. And by the way, that 303 Martino works on and off the air. We actually monitor that line all the time. You can leave a message any time of day, and one of us will get back to you, and hopefully we can help you out. We've recovered over $300 million in cash, merchandise exchanges, and refunds directly due to this show, and we're very proud of it. Now's your turn. You've been ripped off. I want to hear from you. 303-713-8255. In studio with me, Brad O'Brien with Olson Law. Brad, how are you doing? I'm reading olslaw.com.
Doing great, Mark. How are you today?
I'm doing very good, man. I was thinking of some questions for you. And I dealt with something years ago in my life that was horrible. Absolutely horrible, man. I had the city and the county of Denver come in to one of my stores. It was a Goodyear store over in Peoria. And now it's called Peoria Crossing. They built a light rail there. In fact, that light rail station is basically exactly where my Goodyear was. They came in and knocked at my door and said, Mr. Mager, you're not going to like this. And I said, what are you talking about? They said, they're going to build a train station here, and you're going to have all kinds of emotions going forward. You're going to think that maybe you can stop it. You're going to think that it's not fair. You're going to think the worst of the city and county of Denver. You're going to think they stole your property, gave you no option. And the guy warned me. He was with a company, and I can't think of the name of it, but Denver hired him to go to all the businesses that would be affected. And there was like 13 of us affected at Peoria Crossing. And sure enough, he was right. I fought it as much as I could fight it. There wasn't much to fight, but they can literally take your property if they want it for eminent domain. The question I have for you, there's some states that don't allow it in their own legislature. They've passed laws, but Colorado's not one of them. I would like your thoughts on it, not just the legalese about it, but your actual thoughts on it, the constitutionality of it for that matter. What do you make about it when the government comes in and takes private people's land? Just give me your first blush at the question.
Well, I think it's an important right for a government to have, to be able to condemn property, to be able to put it to a better and higher use. So
for example, a highway.
Yeah, or in your case, a transit-oriented development.
A transit-oriented development. Now, I disagree with you on mine. Ultimately, it worked out great for me, so I really can't argue too much. How about if Hilton or Marriott wanted to build a hotel in Montbello? That's where that particular shop is I had. So forget about the train station, but someone that would create more tax revenue, more sales tax for the city and county of Denver and the state of Colorado, for that matter, for them. Would you agree with it in a scenario like that? One big private business, whether it's Marriott or Walmart, coming in to create more tax revenue, because that happens as well.
Well, where eminent domain has gone to the Supreme Court in recent years is the question of, is this a private use, like one developer wanting to do a big giant project, or is it a public use?
And that's really where it comes. That's where the Supremes came back on it. They said it's got to be kind of for public use. It can't be one. How did that go?
I'm not up to speed to talk about that Supreme Court case. I have to.
Wasn't there a Supreme Court case where a private developer wanted to do that, and a woman, I forget her name, brought it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that it was beneficial to the community, and therefore she was forced to give up her home?
I am aware of some private developments that have been approved for eminent domain because they have a public aspect to them.
Yeah, because it would bring in more people. I mean, ultimately, I know what he's saying. When you're in the middle of it, though, Brad, it sucks. And I'll be honest, the guy, H.C. Peck, what was the name of that company? Gosh dang it, I can't think of it. I think it was H.C. Peck. But he told me, he said all these emotions I'd go through because he's dealt with it. Now, they paid for a lot of stuff, and I promise I'll get right to the calls. Denver paid. I didn't own the building. I happened to rent that one, but they paid to move all my equipment. They paid for me to find a new place. They paid not really for loss of business, but I found a new building right behind my building. So literally they paid to build that one out. They paid for a lot of the expenses that I incurred because of them. One of the things they didn't pay for, though, that really drove me crazy was loss of business. The other thing that's amazing to me, I think there was 13 or 14 businesses that moved from there. There was a fried chicken place, a liquor store, a veterinarian, you name it, a little neighborhood places. Out of all of them, not one of them is in existence today. When you pick up a mom and pop business, I don't care what it is, and you move it somewhere, the success rate is next to nothing. It's horrible. Zero. Now, I did fine with mine, and I sold it, and the guy I sold it to happened to kind of run it to the ground. But other than that, mine would have been the only one that survived if he knew what he was doing. So I don't like the taste of eminent domain. I just don't, man.
Well, hey, Mark, it was Kilo versus the United States. That was the case, Kilo.
All right, hold on. We'll ask Brad about that in a second. Hey, Michael, what's going on with this sofa?
We purchased the sofa in October of 21, and we've had nothing but problems, and I've been dealing with them for a year and 4 months. I've dealt with
Michael, who is them?
The showroom at the Furniture Row.
Oh, down off of, what is that, like C470?
No, this one's off of I-25, and I believe it's 64.
Okay, I got you.
North.
So you bought a couch from there in 2021? That's Furniture Row, right?
Correct.
Okay, so in 2021, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I can't imagine. What's the problem with the couch?
So 5 of the cushions were defective, and we just haven't been able to get it resolved.
What does that mean, defective? Like it's ripped? It doesn't have enough stuffing? Describe the problem with your cushion.
So one of the cushions, the seam came undone, and all of the stuffing was just falling out. The other cushions, there's 3 back cushions and 2 seated cushions. The back cushions didn't have a seam in them, so that the stuffing was just kind of falling everywhere. It wasn't contained in the channels. And then the 2 seated cushions, the guy that came out.
Hey, Michael, from the time you purchased the sofa, or from the time it got delivered is probably a better way to put it, from the time the first problem appeared with any of the cushions, a seam, whatever it happened to be, how long are we talking? Because I'm sure you signed for it and it was good when they delivered it, correct?
Yes.
So how long did it take to start failing?
It was delivered on February 9th, and we contacted the store on April the 25th. So
okay, and they sent somebody out?
They sent somebody out in February a year later.
What? Wait a minute. Wait. You contacted them, 3 months later?
2 months later.
2 months later, you contact them, and they take a year to send someone out? Is this because of COVID or what?
Well, so they just kept giving me the runaround. Like I said, I dealt with 5 different people. And they
wait, though. I am still stuck on this. You are not exaggerating. It took over a year or almost a year for them to send someone out to look at the furniture you bought. After the cushions, the seams started coming apart. It took Furniture Row a year to send somebody out.
Yeah.
Okay, so when this guy or this gal finally show up and they look at it, what do they say? Do they acknowledge it's a defect?
Yes. So he said he came in with a steamer, which I thought was kind of odd. And he said that all you need to do is run the steamer where the corners have collapsed, and it'll puff back up, and we should have to do that like every month.
Hey, Michael, do you have a picture of this? Can I look at one of these cushions?
I have several pictures.
I send a couple. I'm going to put you on break. I got to take this. Send a couple. I'm going to put them up on our YouTube too, because I don't understand something. I got to look at them. I don't know what he means by if your seam comes apart. I'm picturing just a cushion like I have at my house. If it comes apart and stuffing's coming out, for the life of me, I have no idea what a steamer would do. How does a steamer magically reattach the seam and put the stuffing back in? I just don't get it. Everybody hold tight.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated US-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
Man, retirement's important. I'm starting to think about it quite a bit and starting to save up. What I've learned is you want a certified financial advisor that is looking out for you. Everybody's different. Hey, Joe, when someone comes into your office and become the banker, I assume everybody's different. It's not a cookie-cutting deal. I mean, what are the first questions you ask?
Well, Mark, you're right. Absolutely. I mean, we really take the client's needs and objectives first place, okay? That's what we do first. We want to find out what their retirement dreams are going to be like.
Yeah, because some people might be 50 years old and they're going to retire in 10 or 15 years. Other people might be 60 years old and have no idea what to do with that, that 401k they've had forever.
That is right. And their main concern, Mark, is that they don't want to lose any money.
Well, that's everybody.
Right. They want to preserve their money.
And you guys offer a guarantee. I mean, a guarantee.
A guaranteed, that's what we call it, the guaranteed pension account. And this is really perfect for people that may have a 401k just laying around that may be losing money, an IRA, investment accounts that may be losing money, people that are worried. They're concerned about all the statements that they're getting every single quarter.
Joe, what people worry about more than anything, and I can tell you this because of my parents, they worry about that cash flow month to month. They want that guaranteed money, whether it's Social Security and then an annuity that kicks in and gives you that extra money, the same exact amount till the day you die. That's what they like. So when you talk about guarantees, and I hate to interrupt you like that, but really that's it. If you can guarantee somebody they're going to get this amount of money till the day they die, it makes them feel good and it makes them not worry about everyday life. I want you to check these guys out. They're fiduciaries. They're in it for you. MyMoneyMyWay.com. Check them out right now. There's a great video on there. They'll talk to you on the phone. MyMoneyMyWay.com.
If you're suffering and there's a safe, natural, easy-to-use solution to help make you feel better, wouldn't you at least want to try it? That's why.
Bye-bye.
I said he did it wonderfully. Geez, how many people does it take to run a board in there now? I looked up there. I had Shannon. Who was the other guy in there? I haven't seen him for a while.
God bless.
Who was that guy?
Jeff is right here.
All I can see
is his head.
I don't even see his head.
Oh, he's talking.
Jeff, what happened? No, I see Jeff. Who else was in there?
Shannon, and then Dave, the IT guy, was in talking to Shannon for a minute.
Okay. I haven't seen Dave forever.
Yeah, I know.
Those guys live in the basement, man.
God.
Like, occasionally they'll let Dominic out of the basement, and you can tell that he's been down there forever.
Poor thing.
He doesn't have any social skills.
I know.
I didn't even know who that was. I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't met this guy yet.
And are we good on YouTube? YouTubies sound okay?
I don't know, man.
I'm checking.
I got everything up and I noticed no volume, but then I forgot it's Switchblade when Tommy's gone. You think I should mention his surgery? I think I am.
Oh, I guess so.
What was it called
It's not
again?
like, doesn't feel that private.
No.
TOPS.
That's what I thought. It's crazy.
Sweet, Dan. Glad to see you around, man. Painting, listening to the show.
Who's that?
Hey, Savvy. I'm talking to the YouTubies.
Oh.
That's my social interaction these days.
That's our outside world.
It is our outside world. I don't talk to anyone else, just the YouTubies and you.
Do you remember that smelly fucking couch from Lazy Boy?
It wasn't smelly.
Yeah, it was. It was smelly.
I don't remember that
Yeah,
one.
they said it smelled. It was off-gassing. That was a crazy one. I got that lady a refund on that couch 3 fucking years later. I went out to her house and smelled her couch.
Nice.
Yeah, it was sweet.
Hey, Todd. How are you, man? Todd's a newbie.
Okay, tops. Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
I saw a video on this surgery he's getting.
It's crazy.
It is fucking fantastic. It is fantastic.
How'd you find the video? I'd love to see it.
Suzanne found it.
Okay.
Brad, if you ever saw anything like this, so instead of doing a fusion, when you get a fusion, your movement goes. I mean, you can imagine you're fused together. So this thing,
Hey, news junkie.
they go in and basically dig out your disc, and then they install this, which is like the disc, and then on top of the disc, I got to show it to you guys.
Yeah,
Back
I gotta
to
see
one.
it.
All right, 303-713-8255. Hey, listen, I want to tell everybody out there listening something. By the way, we've got one line open. I'll get right back to that sofa call. 303-713-8255. But, Tom, listen, you know, whether it's good vibes, whether it's good thoughts, prayers, Tom's getting surgery today. And just well wishes to him. It's back surgery. It's pretty cool. And what I mean by that is it's only been done about 300 times in this country. It's very recently FDA approved. And you can look it up. It's called TOPS, T-O-P-S, the TOPS system. And if you Google like TOPS disc surgery, it's pretty incredible. Instead of fusion, where you lose your mobility or can lose, you definitely lose some of it, depending on what is fused together is how much you lose. But with this, you really do not lose any mobility. It is really crazy. Now, even though there's only been 300 of them done in the country, don't let that freak you out or worry you for them, because in Europe, they've been doing them for quite a while, and there's been thousands done. So it's one of those deals where we're just a little late to the game in the U.S., but I did want to mention that. And hopefully sometime during the show tomorrow, depending on, you know, he's out. He's under anesthesia right now. So depending on how everything goes, hopefully we can get him on for an update. You know, knowing Tom, he might be in studio tomorrow, even though it says 2 to 4 weeks.
Trying to do push-ups.
Yeah, he'll be in here doing crunches in the morning, which will drive me insane. But anyhow, 303-713-8255. So, Michael, they send somebody out from Furniture Row a year later to look at your sofa. The seams are coming undone in multiple cushions, correct?
So the seam came undone just in one of the cushions. The back cushions just didn't have enough stuffing. The seated cushions, they were collapsing in the corner. So he said when you apply steam, and I saw it, it will just puff right back up. And it looked great, but it only lasted a week.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The steam made it expand a little.
Right.
But that was just for the back cushions, right?
That was for the seated cushions.
For the seated cushions. So the one that was ripped, what did they end up doing with? The one that couldn't be repaired with a steamer, did they fix it? Did he sew it up there on the spot?
No. So that cushion collapsed a week after. So he did sew the one back cushion that came undone, and they did put more stuffing, but they're still very floppy.
So it looks bad.
Yes. And in February of 23, Anna, the manager, told me that she would order replacement cushions, and that never happened. So February 17th, she said they would give us a store credit, and they would take the sofa back, and then they backed out of that offer. And so in March...
I'm looking at these cushions. I see what you're saying. The one on the left, the one closest to your kitchen nook or your kitchen counter there, it really looks like there's very little stuffing in it at all.
Right.
I wouldn't be happy with this. I thought maybe you were being a little picky, but I don't like that cushion at all. How about you circled the one you sit down at? I don't understand what's wrong with that one, though.
So do you see the one on the left, on the right, the left-hand corner, how it isn't even and flush?
It's like they're different sizes, Mark.
You can't just push it back up under the rear cushions?
That's the cushion that they hit with the steamer, and it did expand. It just it popped right back up, but a week later, it's back to the way it was.
Okay, so what are they going to do for you at this point? Now, whoa, wait a minute. Now I see this one where all the stuffing's coming out. What happened to that cushion?
He did sew that seam back, and so...
Does it look okay? That one's fine?
Kind of. I mean, they just don't have enough stuffing.
So how much did you spend on this sectional?
$3,173.
$3,000.
In June of 23, I reported them to the Better Business Bureau, and June the 24th, Patrick, the regional vice president, responded with misinformation, so we rejected their response. And then on July 5th, he contacted me, and after a long conversation, he agreed to give us a store credit, come and pick up their sofa, and I asked for compensation. So
wait a minute. So did they agree to that? I mean, did they do that?
Yes,
did they pick it up and give you the store credit of $3,000?
I have it in writing because I wanted an email what he was offering.
Okay, so honest to God, what's wrong with that, man? That's you've used the couch or the sectional for freaking 2.5 years. I understand you're upset, but what's your compensation? What would that be for? Help me get there.
Frustration of dealing with them and them blowing me off for over a year.
Well, what do you expect? What is the compensation you expect? Hey, listen, I think they absolutely suck for what they did to you. Just taking a year to come out there and look at it sucks. No one is ever going to doubt that. But when we talk about compensation, what are you asking for?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, you want them to mow your yard? What? Seriously, Michael, what are you asking for? An extra $500 in store credit? I mean, make me feel a little better about asking them for something. What are you asking for?
I don't know, like a coffee table?
How much is a coffee table? I wouldn't just say a coffee table. I'd say a dollar amount.
Okay, I'd say $1,000.
Oh, wow.
Man, I don't know about that, bro.
That's crazy.
That's a big ass.
I think
big
that's. Yeah, I'd like our listeners to chime in on that. Everybody's heard the whole story. Listen, once again, first of all, I'm going to give you my opinion on Furniture Row. I have been there. How many times have we been there, Suzanne, throughout the years?
A lot.
Maybe 5, 10.
10.
How
yeah.
many things have we bought there?
You always find them overpriced.
I find them ridiculously overpriced. Some of the exact same stuff you can go over to American Furniture and get cheaper. I just don't like them. I simply don't like them, and I don't care if half the people in this building advertise for them. I just don't care.
Well,
I just don't.
So,
but Michael, to ask if they're going to refund it after 2.5 years, brother, 2.5 years. I understand it took a year for him to get out, but to get compensated over and above the purchase price with that store credit, $1,000, I think's crazy. Maybe $300, $500 at best.
Okay, $300-$500. Well, and so July 5th he offered the.
And Suzanne, I'm sorry, Michael, put up those pictures. Go to everybody out there. You can go to YouTube and then search Troubleshooter Network. You'll see our live show, and you can hear us during breaks and all that good stuff, too. But you can see what we're talking about, or, of course, when you get home, you can check it out. Keep going, Michael.
And so July 5th, he made the offer. July 14th, I sent him an email letting him know when we were available to meet with him because he wanted to be our personal shopper, as he was convinced that he was going to be able to find us a sofa that we would love. So I didn't hear from him on July 14th. So I contacted him, text message. on the 22nd. No response. I called him on the 24th, left a voicemail, called the store. They said that he was out of the office, but would be there the following day and would leave a message on his desk. And to this day, I haven't heard from them.
So, I mean, did they ever pick up the old one?
No.
So okay, when's the last communication you had with them?
With Patrick was July the 5th. And
I mean, anybody that's got to do with it. If he had someone else take over on it, I'm talking anybody. When's the last time you talked to someone that could say, okay, we're going to come pick it up on Wednesday or whatever it is?
No, he was it. That was the last conversation.
And when was that?
That July 5th.
And if he has it in writing, can you send that over to us, Michael, so we can look at that?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, do you think he's ghosting you and changing his mind at this point?
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, I want to see that in writing too. Hold on, man. You know, the $1,000 got me bent a little, Michael. It's not a big deal. I'll get over it, I promise. But I think it's a little strange. But these guys ghosting you at this point, I can kind of see how it went, though. I can imagine this. Oh, my God, we're going to refund it after 2.5 years. Now he wants another $1,000. Forget him. That might have been what happened. I don't know. But regardless, they owe you what they promised you. Hang tight.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's BOGO $1 deal.
Starting south of downtown Colorado Boulevard, looks like the roadway has been reduced to 2 lanes at I-25 due to a rollover accident. The road was closed. It does look like traffic is just getting by. Heading out west into the mountains, I-70 east and westbound. Watch out for those intermittent road closures through.
Please say that you downloaded, honest to God.
H.C. Peck. I'm almost sure that's who it was.
2123 2122 2121. Okay.
We're going to hit these in 1 minute and 30 seconds, baby.
Wow.
I believe in you.
So does Shannon. Hey, and a 10-pack Nugs. You know, this one's important. If you've been accused of a crime, any crime, maybe a DUI, shoplifting, domestic violence, assault, you name it, Joseph A. Lazara is the guy you want to call. He knows the judges. He knows the DA. He knows how to get in front of a jury if you're innocent and you need to fight for your freedom. And he knows how to make a deal if you're guilty and get you the best deal out there. Put this number in your phone. When you need it, you need it. 303-429-6200. Joseph A. Lazara, 303-429-6200. 6200. In studio with us yesterday, Brandon. He's the owner of Made in the Shade. If you're looking for blind shades, shutters, drapes, any window covering inside or outside your house, very expensive or very cheap, these guys will beat everybody else's prices. They do the measurement, they do the install, whether a fix and flip or a $3 million house. DenverShades.co. Check them out right now. DenverShades.co. They'll come out, even help you with colors and styles. DenverShades.co. I love Mitch Fulleria. The Art of Granite. These guys can actually give you a price over the phone on brand new countertops, and they have the most beautiful cabinets. Suzanne and I have used Mitch numerous times. He sends his crew out. They laser measure. They send the crew out. They fabricate right there on the spot. It is absolutely unbelievable what your kitchen can look like after you call up Mitch Fulleria. Give them a call. Get an estimate right over the phone on that kitchen or bathroom. 303-386-5919. TheArtofGranite.com. Okay, it was 1 minute, 34 seconds. So I was off by 4 seconds.
I was about to say, you were close, though. You were on it.
It was that one breath I took in between that just totally screwed me.
I'll talk.
Oh, my God.
I've got the videos up on you, or the pictures up on YouTube.
Oh, you do?
Hey,
good.
Mark, be sure Brad knows to put his headphones on when we come back to the show.
Brad, can you hear during the show with the headphones on?
Yeah.
Okay, he's good.
He didn't have them on the whole segment.
Yeah, he's good.
Okay.
Put him on for the mattress thing.
Yeah.
Shannon.
What are you eating?
Got a protein bar?
No, we've got a ton of stuff in there, man. We always have snacks I bring out. I charge for them, though, $3.
Almost always. Mark?
Hey, we're going to start charging for our snack box.
Mark?
Yes.
House spots. House spots.
Shoot.
I put it on the screen for you, so you would remember.
I put it on the screen for you, Mark.
And you ass. And I've been flying the pictures. That's what I'm going to start calling it, flying the pictures. So let the YouTubies know when we come back and the listeners.
All right. What's he saying back there?
F you.
Oh my goodness! You know I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say.
You leave him speechless.
Shannon is like he's an enigma. He is a riddle.
He's an anomaly.
He's a riddle wrapped in a fucking joke or something like that.
Covered in secret sauce.
Are you going to plan on putting Smarty Marty on this one, this furniture one, when you're done with it?
Yeah, I think so.
And then we have a question for Brad O'Brien on 3. Maybe you want to take that one next.
Yep. What is the question? Do you know?
Something about an apartment rental contract.
Apartment rental contract in Europe.
Tie up line 1 when we come back, please.
You'll do that, right?
No, I don't know anything about
Is there any law that, well, how does that work international? Is there I realize each state, but what happens if you want to practice in Europe? Is that in Europe, is Germany and the UK, are they all tied together, or you have no idea?
Am I on the air?
No, you're not on the air.
You have to go to law school in that country.
You do?
Yeah.
Or just pass their bar, or you really have to go to school there,
You're not
too?
going to pass the bar without going to their law schools.
It also helps to speak the language.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to be practicing in Amsterdam, you better know Dutch.
What's the international court? What is that?
Oh, let me see the in writing stuff.
I think that's the United Nations.
Shoot.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mark, I'm sending you the in writing
How you get qualified for that?
from the furniture guy. I haven't had a chance to read
All right,
it.
let's see.
I'm happy to exchange your furniture for something else. I will be compensating you for both your time that you have put into it.
$5,000.
Nice. This guy did his due diligence, huh? There. Sweeto.
You know, Shannon, I was talking to Ross.
10 seconds.
So he's got 40 minutes, 40 to 41 minutes. 40 to 41 minutes. You know where I'm going with that.
Of commercials.
All right, 303-713-8255. We're going to jump back. If you go to our YouTube page and go to just type in Troubleshooter Network, you can see the pictures of those couches. They definitely need to do something. Suzanne, what I'm going to suggest is let's get Smarty Marty to make a call over to these guys. I mean, if we have the email to send to Smarty Marty that says, hey, here's what we're going to do, there is no reason, and I'm going to ask him one more question. Michael, he said he was going to give you, a store credit for the full amount and get it picked up, right?
Correct, and compensation, whatever that meant.
Yeah, and let's think $300 to $500 on the compensation part.
Okay.
Let's fight and see what we can get them, regardless of our feelings of it. I mean, really, we should. That's what we do. We help consumers out. I think those guys taking a year is absolutely insane. Michael, hold tight. Suzanne's going to get your info. Smarty Marty is going to reach out to you. We're going to have one line open in a second. 303-713-TALK. Now, Josh has a question for Brad O'Brien. Josh, what is your question?
So I've got a question on a lease that we signed for my son, and let me say it's in Florida. So it might be just where I air my grievances and piss away the $750 because small claims court might be a pain. But here's the situation. He needed a rent for 2 months. We found an apartment complex that had a unit open. They could rent for him for 2 months. Filled out an application, which they approved. They sent us a contract. We executed our end of the contract. After that, they went to run my credit, which was blocked. So I unblocked them, and they refused to rerun the credit. About 10 hours before he was supposed to move in, I was bugging them every day, like, are you guys going to sign your end of the contract? They said, well, we have a solution for you. We'll just put your son on the lease alone, but there's a $750 no guarantor fee, which I said, I don't think it's fair I pay that. I signed the agreement. You guys should execute your end. And I said, I'll tell you what, it's only 2 months. I'll just pay you the contract in full. I'll pay the 2 months in full. We're done. I didn't get this in writing, but they said, you know what? No problem. We'll waive the $750. Now, of course, they refuse to waive the $750. I feel like there's some ethical terms with, like, I know people say signing a contract under duress, but like, what do you do when you're in another state and your kid's going to be homeless and you're flying out the next day and they're telling you, we know we told you we'd rent this, but so sorry, so bad. Give us basically an extra month's rent and we'll make it happen.
A couple things there. Brad, one, it's in Florida, so at best we can pretend this happened to him in Colorado. What are your thoughts on that? And the other thing he made me think of that I'm sure you know about, I think we just changed something in Colorado. I'm not sure if it's in effect yet, but I don't think you can charge for an application or something along those terms. But go ahead, Brad.
Right. I'm not licensed in Florida, but if this were in Colorado, the first thing you need to do is look at the written lease itself, if it exists. I'm not sure if it was fully signed in this case.
Yeah, was it? Was it executed?
It was. Yeah, and I'm sure I signed, right? I'm sitting there the day he's supposed to move in, basically, and saying, I'll sign whatever. If you'll waive the fee, I'm fine with that. You know, I'm still a good old-fashioned handshake kind of guy.
Yeah, I got you.
Mistake.
Keep going, Brad. So if it's in the lease, which I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, first follow the lease. Second, we have in Colorado a security deposit statute that basically says any prepaid rent falls under the category of security deposit. And
oh, wait a minute. So if someone pays first and last month, that's a security deposit?
Right. Now it is.
It is?
Now it is. Recent change.
That's crazy. Explain why that would change. Because, hold on a second. Let's finish up with him. Let's finish up exactly what Josh has. So, Josh, I mean, it's going to come down to that, whatever the language is in the lease. I realize it sucks these guys did that. We do have one interesting thing that might help you. What part of Florida was it?
He's in Daytona Beach.
How far is that from Marty? I don't even remember where Marty lives.
Boca Raton, I don't know.
How far is that from?
It's about 3 hours. I mean, it's not. My bigger
No, but let me tell you, Marty has showed up. One of our deputies has showed up at different moving companies, because we get a lot of bad movers out of Florida, and he has done wonders when you show up at the door.
I guess my question is, are there any, I know people say they were forced to sign a contract, but when you send somebody a contract to execute, doesn't that, even though you physically haven't signed it, you drew it up, you agreed to it, you emailed it to me in a form that I can sign, doesn't that meet all the things that they agree to when it comes to contract law?
I don't even understand what your question is. Did you get that, Brad?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Sending a draft proposed contract is not an offer normally.
Oh, I got you. Or offer an acceptance for that matter.
Right.
And is there anything to the fact...
And in Colorado, I'm not sure about Florida, even if they had a verbal conversation, and tell me if I'm wrong here, let's say they had a conversation that was recorded with one of the parties, two-party conversation, one of them recorded it, and the guy said exactly, hey, we're not going to charge you that $750, but then he signed a lease saying they would charge him the $750 as an example. In Colorado, it only goes to the written agreement, right? Even if you have that oral promise?
If you have a written lease that has what's called an integration clause, a provision which says everything that's in the contract is here in writing, nothing spoken is part of the contract, then, yeah, you have to look at only the writings.
Yeah, they screwed you, man. They put the screws to you. Okay. That's the bottom line.
Which, like I said, for $750, I'll take care of it on reviews and other forums. But
yeah,
I just didn't know.
Did you call them up and try to do anything with them?
Yeah, and they said, so sorry, so bad. You signed it. If we give it back to you, we have to give it back.
How many? How big of a place is this, man?
Well, so the parent company is called L3 Campus, and they own probably 15 properties. I mean, you're talking thousands of units.
And they sent you an email. I want to go back to that real quick. You have an email from them saying they weren't going to do that.
No. I went in the day my son was supposed to move in and said, he's going to be homeless in 8 hours.
I got you.
Can you please execute your end of the contract? And they said, well, here's our solution is he just signed his own. There's a $750 fee since he doesn't have a guarantor, which I said, I'll just write you a check in full. You don't need a guarantor. And they said, we don't have a process to do that, but we'll waive the $750. So I sat down and said, let me just get this signed.
And then they just never waived it.
My 18-year-old kid had a place to live.
You know, I don't mind. Let's do this just for the heck of it. Let's have Marty call. Or actually, Marty's good at emailing. So here's what I want you to do, man. Josh, give Suzanne your info. I'm going to have Marty reach out to you. let's throw a bone out there and see if we can't get something figured out. Maybe these guys have some ethics. Josh, hold on. Suzanne's going to get some info. That'll free up a line, 303-713-8255. So, Brad, real quick, going back to you on this, when did that law change to where anything you pay up front going into a lease in Colorado is now considered a security deposit?
That wasn't this week. We had a lot of changes that took effect just this week.
We're going to talk about those, but it's very recent.
I don't recall when it was, but it's the security deposit statute that globally defines the security deposit as basically anything other than that you prepay.
So even you can't charge a security deposit and first and last month anymore.
Well, now you can charge no more than 2 months worth of rent.
2 months worth.
That's the limit. Yeah.
Okay, so you still could charge first month, last month, and a security deposit. But you couldn't charge 3 months worth of rent up front.
Right.
I wonder why they even did that. What do you think? I mean,
well, tenant protections.
Yeah, but how does that protect a tenant? Because at the end, the landlord says what? I mean, if it's whether it's considered a security deposit or rent, what's really the difference if the landlord's holding the bag?
Well, it just levels the playing field more towards the tenants.
Okay. I mean, I'll take you at that. Everybody hold tight. Dave Allen, one line open, 303-713-8255. A mold smell in the house. A problem with KB Homes and earnest money. I'm glad Brad's here. Brad, I'm sure you've looked over some of these new building contracts in your life. And let me tell you, if you're buying a new house, and please attest to this or don't, you should have an attorney look over that building contract. It is unlike any normal real estate deal that I've ever seen. Hold tight.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Some slowdowns into downtown I-25 northbound. We're looking at speeds in the 30s and 40s between Alameda and Colfax. East of there, Colorado Boulevard roadway reduced to 2 lanes at I-25 due to a rollover accident. We're seeing stop and go back from Florida. And heading out west into the mountains, I-70 east and westbound. Watch out for those intermittent closures through Floyd Hill due to blasting operations well into the afternoon. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, mostly sunny skies today. Another warm one with a high of 83 degrees this afternoon. Overnight low of 60. Tomorrow, sunny again with a high of 89. Friday, isolated thunderstorms, high 88. The current temperature is 73 degrees with your Impact Traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Sheridan Auto Tech. I love Uncle Kevin. You got a vehicle, you need to find it a home to where a shop that can take care of it, maybe do the oil changes, the flushes, basic brake jobs. Those are your guys. If it breaks down, you got an electrical problem, other people can't fix it or figure it out, Sheridan Auto Tech are your guys. These guys can maintain and repair anything on virtually any vehicle out there. Their nationwide warranty is unbelievable. Their pricing is great. Finally, a shop that you're going to love. SheridanAutoTech.com. SheridanAutoTech.com. Now, let's talk about an attorney I love, John Fuller, personal injury. You know, John has helped us out twice. One case, we were leaving Sam's Club, and Suzanne and I were driving. We stopped at the red light. We got the green. We started going. Woman comes barreling through her red light, T-bones us. Every single airbag goes off. Suzanne's got neck problems. She's got a broken nose. It was absolutely horrible. When it was all said and done and we were back from the emergency room, you know who I called? I didn't even hesitate. I picked up the phone and I called John Fuller. I called him on his cell phone, and I'm going to give you his cell phone number. And I'm going to tell you right now, well, actually, he's going to give you his cell phone number, but I'm going to tell you something. This guy will be there for you. He's not going to pass you off to employees. He's going to be there for all the questions and guide you through this case. That's what I love about John Fuller. You deal with him. You deal with the attorney. 303-597-4500. My Accident Lawyer can be your accident lawyer at myaccidentlawyer.co. Now, let's talk about Euro Plumbing. You're not going to get a better deal. Listen to this. 40-gallon water heaters, $1,299. That includes installation, haul away, 6-year warranty. It includes new water supply lines, gas flex supply lines. It's the whole kit and caboodle, as they say. 50-gallon, only $13.99. Check them out. 303-668-6844. EuroPlumbingColorado.net.
Hi, Dan Cicchini, Done Right Windows and Doors. How about finally getting those old drafty windows and doors done right? Call us for details on our spectacular financing specials. 800-362-8370 or drhi.com to set up your rock-solid quote.
When it comes to selecting a real estate broker, accept no excuses. That's why I endorse this man.
We aggressively go to work for you. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just results.
Frank Duran with RE/MAX Alliance.
You get my team's full support, but I personally negotiate the sale for you when you list your home with me. I'm with you every step of the way.
Go to Frank's website for tips on buying and selling. Frank Duran.
If you're playing with another, a guy or a sibling or something, you can punch him when you see it. Whoever sees the love bug first, you get to slug him. Slug bug.
We used to play a game called Nux. Did you ever play that?
What is it?
Nux.
Nux,
Well, you
no.
would take a deck of cards. I think what the game was. And if you lost, they would take the deck of cards and scrape your knuckles.
Oh, yeah.
A certain number of times.
So
you'd go home with bloody knuckles.
In military school, we did something that was insane, man. So you would hold an object like this, sometimes even a butter knife, a drumstick, and basically what you would have to do is grab it, and then you could come down and hit their knuckles. If you missed, if they missed, then they get a swing of your knuckles.
Hey,
or
Mark.
how about when you spread your fingers out and then you take a
with
knife?
the knife.
We did stupid things in military
We
school.
were kids, you know?
Morons.
Mark.
I'll tell you what.
I'll
We
tell
had
you
the
the one-
absolute worst food in military school. The only thing worse would probably be the actual military. It was so bad.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't done any house spots.
Oh, okay. I will do some.
I put it on the screen for you.
Yeah,
I'll
I
tell you
know.
the one thing I never did, ever.
What?
Is drink and drive.
Never.
Flow on the
Never,
switch
ever
over
did that.
from live spots.
Well, you never
today.
drank. I mean,
I
you
didn't
don't
drink.
drink at all,
We
do
have
you?
to switch when we're.
Well, that's because of my liver cancer.
Yeah. Did you drink prior to that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I
Jeff,
mean, I
you
drank,
switched,
but-
right?
Yeah, you didn't drink.
I would
For
have
YouTube
a
Live,
beer or a
are
martini
YouTube
with
easy
dinner.
like hearing
That
the
was it.
banter when we don't have commercials?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm turning it off during the
I'm
break.
missing.
haven't had a
Or
drink
these
since
messages are coming
95.
in late then,
Okay.
Jeff.
Well, and if people aren't entirely used to no off-air banter before the
So I would stop twice coming home from.
Oh, that I
mountains.
don't care.
I've been
right.
stopped
Yeah, he usually doesn't
only
switch
at,
until the
what do you
lights are
call
over.
them? At
Right.
a checkpoint. In my entire life, I might have been stopped twice at a checkpoint.
I've never been in a
And then
checkpoint.
they shine the light. In fact, one of the times was right at Lincoln and 25. They had like
Really?
Yeah. I think it was St. Patty's
You live
Day.
in Allen, Brighton
It was
Police.
something along
Oh,
those
yeah,
lines.
This one's interesting.
But they were checking everybody if you were on that road. And I found
He
it
sent me
quite
pictures of
interesting.
his tongue. Let me
I thought
tell
it was
you.
great.
I always thought if you turned right there,
You could.
you absolutely can. But I wonder if they would, that they wouldn't have any reason to stop you legally that I know of. We've asked Lazare about this
They would
before.
find one.
That's of course. And at that point, you're just being a dick. You're
Right.
just trying to cause issues.
They would find. They can always find a reason to stop you.
Tongue pick too.
I got to go to the DMV tomorrow
What county?
in Denver because I haven't gotten my registration, my sticker yet.
There's one. So we're Douglas County. There's one right down here by the Super Target.
There's one on Monaco.
Every time I walk in, there's no one there.
Really? Where is
Really?
this? Because the one on
Every day.
On Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
All right, 303-713-8255. One line open. So some of the changes, Brad, I want to talk about some of the changes. One of them you were talking about was a deposit. You can only do 2 months rent, so first, last, and then any other money that would have been towards rent now is considered a security deposit. Is there a limit on how much you can charge for a security deposit, or that really doesn't matter?
The limit is 2 months equivalent of rent.
Oh, that's it. So you can't charge more. So if it's $1,000 a month, the max security deposit's $2,000.
That's right.
How about pets? I thought something changed with pets.
I don't know how the law this week changed.
Okay.
That might still be separate.
there was something that either has or they were talking about was going to change with pets, and I thought it was I thought you couldn't charge like extra for a pet, like an extra $100. I'm not sure about that, but I'm interested if that's the case, because everybody knows if you have a cat or dog, I mean, you're going to have more wear and tear on your carpet no matter what.
They were talking about that before the law passed, so that might have gotten dropped. I'm not 100% sure, though.
That might have got dropped out of it. What other interesting changes?
Well, a landlord can no longer use your income to qualify you.
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, whoa, whoa. One of the biggest things we have had over the years, I can't even tell you how many times we've gotten this call. Listen to this. I'm looking for an apartment, and they say I have to have 3 times my monthly income to qualify. So if the apartment is $2,000 a month, which is pretty normal around here, you got to have $6,000 in income just to qualify. That's gone now?
Well, let me finish that statement. You don't have to make any more than 2 times the rent. Okay?
2 times.
But they can't use your income to show. They can't make you show any more than that.
I got you, but that's interesting because they used to be able to say 3 times, 4 times. Now the most they can do is 2 times.
Right.
I think actually that's good. I do like that one.
Yeah.
Wait, John, Brad, what do you mean 2 times? Is it per month?
Yeah. No, Doc. So if your apartment's going to be $2,000 a month,
you need to make $4,000 a month.
You got it.
Right.
Okay.
That's before taxes.
What else you got?
Now, this is a big one. The credit scores cannot be used against the tenant. So
Wait a minute.
No credit score, no lack of a credit score, no adverse credit history.
That's passed.
Unless the landlord is federally required to look at the credit history, I guess in some subsidized situation.
Oh, like a Section 8 or
Right.
maybe not even that. Something where whatever it happens to be. I get you. Boy, I don't like that one, Brad. What are your thoughts on that? Not as an attorney, but just in general.
I think it's a powerful tool for a landlord to be able to look at someone's credit history.
I think it's horrible. I mean, like, oh my God. Now, how many people are still going to look at it? I mean, really, think about it. Is this one of these rules where they can still run your credit report? Although, I guess if it showed up on your report as you pulled it, you're not even supposed to pull it then, right?
Yeah.
Or can you pull it, just not equate it as a factor?
If a landlord pulls a credit report now, then you're just giving the tenant the right to argue that you used it against them.
Oh, my God.
How would the tenant know?
They'd see it on their credit report.
Yeah, but most people who are low renters probably don't have credit freezes or get credit reports. Let's be honest.
I guess it doesn't matter, Doc, because the fact is, if they did pull it and they checked their credit and they got denied, that's trouble. Yep. What happens to a landlord that, let's say that scenario unfolded?
I don't know what the penalty provision is for that. But a hard pull does show up on a credit report.
Oh, it definitely does. I'm almost sure a soft pull pulls up on a credit report as well. All right, listen, everybody, 303-713-8255. Any questions you got when it comes to real estate? Brad's in studio. He's going to be with us during the show. Give us a call. Miguel, Dave, and Alan, you guys hold tight. You're coming up next. Alan, I want to hear about this earnest money with KB Homes and a mold smell in a house. We have an expert that can probably figure that out. And then a car purchase from a dealership right here on the Troubleshooter Show. By the way,
today's Marketers Report, Kate Cronin, Chief Brand Officer of Moderna, weighs in on the speed of audio production.
In this day and age, and particularly at Moderna, where we have new information coming out on a regular basis, being able to feed that information to the audio.
888heating.com. Call them up with any issue. By the way, Frank Duran, the real estate man, you got to call Frank. You're trying to sell that property, trying to buy a new house. He helped us out. He can help you out. And while I'm thinking of Frank, let me tell you about Paul the Waterman. This guy, he's unbelievable. You can get point-of-use systems right there at your faucet. You can get a whole house water softener. And while I'm thinking about it, Renew Home Innovations, get that water softener installed for that new shower. That shower, oh, it's going to feel so good with that soft water.
I need a beer.
Now,
already.
Uncheck those 4.
It's only 11.
Hey, Brad.
Like you're going to punch up a collar next? During the break.
I got, Credit Karma sends me my thing every day. So on one, it's like 8 something. The other one went from 829 to 779, 50 points in one day. What would, nothing has changed.
Something changed.
Did you cancel a credit card?
No, nothing. I mean,
something changed.
Close an account.
Wouldn't it show up on both of them?
Money out. How much your line of credit was
Why
out?
wouldn't it show up on both of them?
Disgusting.
Because they might only
And guess what
report
his
to
problem
one.
with
You look at the
writing
same credit
police.
report from the same place?
Make that connection.
I get this
Come
thing
on.
from Karma.
Okay,
telling me what-
so the very same report changed.
I'm going to end up
Yeah.
exiting
Okay, because you know there's like 10 different FICOs.
because I want to hit this
Nothing
call going.
changed from
Trying to call you, man.
1 week to the next. I mean, my credit balance didn't. I didn't take out any loans. I mean, it's just really bizarre.
Something happened. If it's TransUnion
Yeah.
and it changed 50 points,
Hey, Alan,
something
I'm
happened.
trying to call
It had to be
I'm
something
gonna
major
text
to go
you as
down
well.
50
Trying
points,
to
right?
call you, sir.
No.
Hang tight.
No?
If you have, okay, mine moves around all the time. If I have,
That's a big change. 50
when,
points.
yeah, but when I pay
Maybe I
my
wrote it
iHeart
down
bill,
wrong.
for example, let's say it's 50,000 this year or this month. I pay 50,000 on my credit card. If they happen to re-update mine
Good
through
grief.
whoever iHeart reports to or whoever my credit
Get
card
hung
company,
up.
$50,000 can move mine 30, 35 points without blinking. And then as soon as I pay it off, a couple days later, it snaps right back to where it was.
Come
High
on.
balance.
Yeah, I mean, my credit card bill
God.
is always less than 50.
How about your line of credit on the house? Did that kick in?
Nothing changed.
But Doc, something did change.
I know. I can't figure out what it is.
Yeah, okay.
I should pull a credit report, right?
Now, something Brad said that's interesting, most people don't know, and I thought you were going here. FICO scores are interesting. When you fill out a credit card application for like Sears or Amex, you might get two different scores reported back. When you go to get a mortgage, you might get
Troubleshooter
even
show,
a
what is
different
your first
score.
name?
Yeah, auto lenders have a different one than home
Yep.
mortgage lenders.
Oh, Miguel, let
They're
me get
all
you back in
different.
queue with the
They-
dealership
they're all
issue. Hang
completely
tight, man. You
different.
shouldn't be much longer. You just
So
got
in
a
other
call
words,
ahead
if
of you.
someone pulled your TransUnion for a credit card and told you your score was 830, but then pulled your TransUnion for a house purchase, your score might only be 790.
Really?
Same one, but it's a different set of critique.
Interesting. I mean, the good
gonna
thing
have
is
this
I
guy's
don't
phone
need.
number
I don't.
memorized.
There's nothing that I'm going to use credit for.
Hey, we were going to do all Metallica all day.
Yeah, right.
You want to do it today?
My God, man. Can you come back with so what, you boring little fuck?
I'll bump in with that on the 15 break.
I would love that.
When you're doing your house spots.
Yeah, I'll put it underneath you as a bed.
I wonder, hey, Shannon, you would be the only person I know that would know this answer off the top of their head. Has anybody just gone plumb fucking mad on the air to where they didn't take them off and they're cussing and dropping F-bombs for, let's say, 5-10 minutes? Like lock the studio doors type thing? There's no way to shut them down?
Is this ringing a bell, Shannon?
Has this ever happened?
Jay Marvin got pretty close, he said.
Yeah, but he didn't actually drop the bombs, did he?
When he found out somebody was messing with his sound effect.
Oh, man. That fucking guy used to get so mad at me.
Who's that?
You know how many
right, I
years
give
ago
up.
that is? That's
All of them.
how many years is that? That was over downtown J-Corps 25 years ago.
Yeah. Oh,
So we had these 8-track tapes.
Yeah.
So I did a computer show, and I'd pull these 8-track tapes out for sound effects, like a fart. You'd have to put it in, you'd hit the button, and it'll go whatever it was. But Jay Marvin loved these stupid ones from movies. The one I always remember was
Give it a name.
Give it a name. So he would
From
pull the card out and
Fargo.
put it there. So I used a cart one time that I
Things
guess
to
he
do in
used.
Denver when you're dead, not Fargo.
And then he started bitching on the air about
He used to
me
quote
moving a
something
cart.
from Fargo, though, didn't
So
he?
the next time I was in studio, I moved every fucking cart in the entire carousel. There wasn't one cart where it was supposed to be.
So what did he do? Did he go nuts?
That dude went nuts all the time, man.
Yep.
Did you liked him though, didn't you, Shannon?
No.
You really didn't?
Yep. Very happy he's dead.
God, he's happy he's dead. That's unbelievable.
It's not like I killed him.
Gee, Shannon, tell us how you really feel.
Jesus. I'll tell you the other one.
I remember Alan Berg.
Yeah, well, we knew. Did you know Russ or Russ Johnson? Holy shit!
Very happy he's dead too.
He used to treat Steve like, oh my God, man, that was the worst toxic relationship I have ever seen between talent and a board op ever.
Hey, Mark.
How Steve didn't walk in and start shooting was beyond me.
Pacifist.
Mark.
Yeah.
Smarty Marty could only take one case. I gave him the furniture one, so I was going to have Doc call on the apartment one.
Oh, that's a
Does
good
that work?
idea.
Okay.
How about that? They're both dead.
What's that?
Steve and who the hell? Russ.
Apartment
Steve
rental.
and Russ, both dead.
Oh, Steve died?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, my God. I got to be somewhat friends.
Pounds forever.
I bailed, oh, man, I don't know if I ever told you this, but Ross called me up, man. He had a drug dealer after him. I mean, this fucking guy was going to kill him.
Who, Russ?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that now.
And I went ahead and wired him. I think we were in Florida. We
wired him. Yeah, we were. Oh,
I wired him $1,000. I mean, this guy was going to fucking kill him. And I said, this is it, though, bro. I said, I'll always help you out, but, I mean, this is craziness, man. So probably about 2 or 3 months goes by, and then that's when he ended up going to China or Singapore or somewhere with his wife. And then his wife got gang raped or something just crazy. And then he ended up offing himself like a month or two later. He ran a hose in his garage. I'd been over to that house a bunch of times. Little tiny one-car garage in his apartment or
Mark always
condo.
has to get a little dark.
I was shocked, man, when it was the girlfriend, it was his wife's or ex's mother who called me up. Remember, I sold her computers 1 million years ago.
House spots.
God, that was a sad one. You liked him, though, didn't you?
Who, me? What?
Russ. Did you like Russ?
No.
Nah.
That's an awful human being. Too bad I can't thank the guy that killed him. That's the ironic thing about suicide.
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, and today we have Brad O'Brien in. And any question you have about contracts and real estate, any real estate issues whatsoever, Brad, that's what he lives and breathes. He's an attorney on our referral list. Maybe you're a landlord. In fact, here's a quick question for you, Brad, then I'm going to take a call and we'll come back to you. But let me ask you something, man. We just talked about all these changes that landlords have to deal with. How many leases are out there right now that take into consideration all these legal changes? I mean, I would bet maybe 10 or 15% is a total guess. I would guess most people's leases don't represent what the law is currently.
Right. The changes in Colorado law this week on leases basically makes it time for every landlord to review their leases and update them.
Now, if you have a lease where this is crazy. Let's say you're signing a tenant this week and you're using an old template from a month ago. So none of these changes are incorporated. That doesn't change the validity of the lease, though, does it? I understand it would change the validity of anything to do with those changes in the lease, but it doesn't null and void the lease in general, does it?
No, not the whole lease, but the provision that violates is now void.
Oh, my God. So people, and you do that all the time. You'll look over a landlord's lease and then tell them the different changes.
Right.
And I use the word template. You educated me on something last time you were in. There is no generic lease in Colorado.
No, it's really unfortunate. Like we have a standard contract form for purchases and sale of real estate, but we don't have one for leases.
Why do you think that is?
There's so many different situations. Every lease seems to be a custom situation.
It's crazy. By the way, this hour brought to you by Water Pros. Paul the Waterman. The best for less, and I'm not kidding you on that. You want a water softener for about half the price as any of these other companies you call up, Paul. You want a point-of-use system for under $1,000, you call up Paul. You want a free water test, you call up Paul. And he doesn't come out and just put some kind of color in your water. He'll test it. He'll test it and tell you what is going on with your water. Check him out at waterpros.net. Tell him you want that free test. You know, if you live in Castle Rock, I hate to gross people out, but this is absolutely true. And I think the same is true with Parker Water, but I could be wrong on that one. But for Castle Rock, listen to this. 75% of the water you drink, now everybody just listen, not trying to gross you out, but it's true. 75% of the water coming out of that tap is the same stuff you flush down the toilet. Now they treat it at the treatment facility, but you want to see what you're actually drinking, Paul will come out and he'll do a test for free. 303-862-5554. Now, let's do this. I want to jump over to Alan, and then we'll go to Dave. So, Dave, hold on. You'll be next, and Miguel. So, Alan, what is going on with KB Homes?
Yes, I'll try to summarize this as quick as I can. Last fall, we were in the process of moving from Alaska to Colorado to be near family, and about September 5th of 2022, we gave an earnest money down on a paired home to be built by KB Homes.
How much was it?
The earnest money was $15,000.
Okay, so you put $15,000 down with KB Homes. Keep going.
Okay, that was about September 5th. We didn't. They broke ground on the house mid-January, and so it just took time to put in the foundation and all that. And we didn't physically get to Colorado until the end of March, and we made several stops there, visits as they were building the house, and it must have been about mid-June, I guess. We were there, and we noticed there was the basement floor where the rec area was going to be was not level. You could tell it very easily.
At this point,
marble.
Hey, I'm sorry, Alan, I got to ask a few questions. At this point in mid-June, and I assume you're talking this year, right?
Yes.
So in mid-June, when you looked at the basement, it was not finished. You were looking at the cement?
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
Yes.
And what kind of slope and when you say, how bad are we talking? If you put a tennis ball in the middle, does it just start rolling instantly or what?
If you put it at the what I would call the north end of the room, it would roll to the south end.
Do you think it was from settling, or do you think they didn't pour it correctly at this point?
I don't think it was poured correctly.
Okay.
But
okay,
anyway,
but keep going. So what happened?
Well, we also noticed that as you went down into the basement, there's a hallway, and there was a steel post that held up an I-beam.
Sure.
And there was another pipe coming out of the concrete floor that was obviously in the wrong place because it was in the hallway. And then they had put a pipe in the bathroom.
All right, so you weren't happy with this. You're not happy with the cement. So, but keep going. At this point, did you do what?
Okay, well, they would call us every Friday to give us kind of an update.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what Friday it was, but they called and we said, well, the basement floor is uneven. It's not level.
You told them
so
that.
We told them that.
And what did they say?
Well, it was dead quiet for a couple of seconds, and then one of them said, well, what's your concern? And we said, well, the floor's not level.
Well, and see, I wish I knew, like, how many, if you, I doubt you did this, but if you measured one side to the other, are we talking an inch? Are we talking 3 inches, a foot? I mean, what are we actually talking about?
Well, I had a laser level that I used,
okay,
which I think was working properly, and I put it at the north end and shot it across to the other end, and to me it was a good inch difference.
And see, I don't know, and listen, man, if we have somebody out there that's used to concrete, not just concrete, because I don't care about driveways or patios in this case. What I'm talking about is if you have a basement and you're a 1 inch difference, I don't know that that's not industry standard. I don't know the answer. And then if you go to finish it and you put in kind of a floating style, I don't know. There's got to be a way to level that when you actually put in flooring. And if you're not putting it in, I'm not so sure. But how did they react to what you said?
Okay, well, I think it was the project manager said, well, he would go back up there and check and look at it again. So then we got a subsequent report that they were contacting the flooring people, and they were going to come back and fix it. By this time, they had already laid a carpet down. So they supposedly came back, and they used some kind of a leveling compound to supposedly fix it. Well, when we went back, July 26th.
Okay, hold on though, man. Listen, I got to take this break. When we come back, I understand you're not happy with the floor. You weren't happy with some of the placement of either the rafters or the steel poles or whatever it is. But I need to know where we're at now when we come back. I got to figure out. I assume because you told me about the $15,000 in earnest money that you want out because a house isn't acceptable. If that's it, we'll bring Brad into the conversation. But we got to get towards the end. Everybody hold tight. A lot coming up.
In this week's Marketers Report, we hear about the importance of local radio from Allison Griffin, head of marketing at State Farm.
iHeart has such.
This went up.
Case last year. Depends on which way the swing is in home values.
My place went up by 200,000.
Yeah.
In six
It
months.
is, yep.
Brad.
Coming in 10 seconds.
All right, hold on, guys. You know, I was talking about John Fuller last hour. You know something I love about John? When we were in an accident, I didn't even hesitate to call him. And I'm going to tell you why that I'm going to bring John up. I know John. He comes into studio. We talk all the time. We've actually become somewhat of friends over the years. But the incredible part, why I called him that first time, is because I knew I would deal with him. I'm like everybody else out there. I see all these advertisements for these other guys. But John, describe to everybody why you over others, in your own opinion.
Hey, Mark, you took the words right out of my mouth there. Here's the deal. You can look at these TV ads and listen to these, these lawyers telling you how great they are with their 20 and 40 and 50 attorneys and how special they are and stuff. But the reality is that when it happens to you and it's your family or loved one, you want to know that you're being taken care of by somebody that's hands-on taking care of your case. You're not just one of 1,000 cases. You're not, the next lawyer in line. You're not anything. You're going to deal with me when you select my firm, and you're going to have my team, and we're going to all know who you are when you walk through the front door. And that's the kind of level of service that we provide and that we think most people really want when it's somebody they care about.
And I can't stress enough what he just said. About a year after that accident where we called John, our daughter was in an accident on I-25. Someone rear-ended her. I didn't hesitate again. I picked up the phone. I called John Fuller. And guess what? John answers. That's one of the parts I really like. The other thing I love about you, John, you kind of held our hand through both cases. You kind of made suggestions. So the bottom line is, if you have been hurt in an accident, I want you to call John right now. Maybe you're attempting to deal with the other insurance company. I'm telling you, you're crazy. Call up, get free advice from John Fuller, 303-597-4500, 303-597-4500. My Accident Lawyer can be your accident lawyer at myaccidentlawyer.co.
Sweeto, okay, I'll let Kelly know you're not available for lives and let Mark know, and then I assume Andy's got you covered as well, okay? Where are you going anyway? I'm being nosy now.
Yeah.
You're asking about pet deposits?
Yes.
The law just changed this week. $300 cap.
300 cap, okay.
And the rent, that's a security deposit. The rent you can charge for.
Oh, very cool. You guys have a lot of fun.
$35 a month or 1.5% of the rent.
Say that again.
Sweeto, see you soon. Bye-bye.
Security deposit cap is
300.
But the extra rent, like pet
Is
rent,
1.5%.
Yeah, I'm good.
right.
Up
it's
to $35.
Right.
Or it doesn't matter.
The greater of 35.
Got it.
So you'd have to be above like $5,000. Hold on a minute.
You did?
All right, so when we come back and we're talking about that, one of the things I'm going to talk to you about, if someone entered into a lease a month ago where these changes weren't there and they paid a bigger pet security, do they get it back?
Oh, like an ex-wife or something?
I haven't researched the law yet.
Fly by night?
It's crazy, man.
We were watching the Lincoln lawyer, and
Why
on
would
his
that
phone,
change if you
for caller ID? He has
entered
his
into
first
something
wife's
Because the
his
laws
first
changed.
wife.
If the law says it's
Second
retroactive,
wife
then
saved
it's
his
retroactive.
second wife.
yeah.
It's
It either is or
hilarious.
isn't.
I'll bet you that it
It's
isn't
hilarious.
retroactive. That would be too crazy.
Yeah.
I think it. I don't know why it wouldn't be retroactive.
Because people sign contracts, written contracts with certain conditions.
Yeah.
Why would you expect everything to be undone instead of just going forward?
Because the law changed.
Well, yeah, from August 7th on, but I doubt if it would be retroactive.
I don't know. But when they go to renew, it would definitely
That's different.
change. Well, no, because going back to your point, though, Doc, let's say they signed a lease prior to these changes, and these changes weren't in there.
Right.
And they have an option. If they go to execute the option was already agreed to back then. I'm saying the option, I bet, they couldn't grab that pet security deposit again.
No, I think the option will be under the new regulations.
Uh-oh. Feinstein's in the hospital.
You know,
last time I saw her, man, she was
Does
so
she
out of
know?
it.
Oh my God.
She's 90 fucking years old. There's too many old people in Congress.
Would you take 90 right now? If you were guaranteed good health, but you dropped dead at 90, would you take it?
No, it's a hypothetical.
Come on.
Lawyers don't like hypotheticals.
I would take it. I'd take it right now. Good health till 90, then you drop dead on your birthday.
I plan to live longer. I'm going to make 90 look good.
That would be kind of cool. There's that one lady. She's like 105. She's running a freaking marathon soon.
How did Tom celebrate his birthday?
All right, 10 seconds.
Coming back.
House spots.
I'm going to do that again.
I don't know. My mom lived to
I'm
97.
trying to hold my
dad lived
posture,
to
too. I look like I
101.
have a stick
I
up
don't know
my
if I'd
ass.
take 90.
Jesus. No freaking comments from me. Okay.
We're the only
Oh, I got it.
species that knows we're going to die.
You know, I bet you haven't heard this word a lot. Polyaspartic. You know what that is? That's that beautiful coating on garage floors. Some people call it epoxy, but it's not. It's polyaspartic. You can choose different colors. The guys at Garage Kings, they came out and did ours. It was absolutely unbelievable. In fact, we love the garage so much, we had them come out, Tony and the gang, and do our patio as well. Patio looks brand new. Garage looks brand new every time you take a hose to it. Listen to this. Lifetime warranty, guaranteed lowest price, free estimates right at your house. And here's the part I really love about them. They're contractors you don't pay up front. These guys pay when the job is done and you're happy. Garage King, 720-252-0370. Call Tony right now, 720-252-0370. You're going to absolutely love it. Now, I got to get back to this KB Homes call. Alan put $15,000 down. About mid-June, he noticed that the basement floor was not level. He's thinking about an inch from one side of the basement to the other. There was some other aesthetics that he really didn't like about walking down into the basement, maybe where different things were placed. But the curious part is I need to know where it's going now. So, Alan, did you tell them you wanted fixed, or where are we at now with KB Homes?
Okay, well, after they said they brought the flooring company in to put leveling compound down.
Yep.
And we made our final inspection. The floor was still not right, and we told our realtor we were canceling. We were not taking the home. So she got a hold of the KB representative, I think that Saturday, told him we were canceling. We subsequently got an email from him several days later wanting us to send an email to him stating that we were canceling.
Yep.
I did send.
So you did that, then they said, okay, good, you canceled, no problem, right?
Yes, and I also in my email requested the earnest money back.
Not going to happen, right?
No.
You know, here's something I want to say, and I'm going to bring Brad into this, but I'll tell you who did you an injustice, Alan. I'm going to tell you something, and you probably don't want to hear it. Your realtor did. Your realtor should have explained to you, and I haven't looked at a KB contract in a while, but I have looked at them, and I'm not going to give a legal opinion, but I'll bring Brad in. They're so airtight, it's crazy. They're nothing like a normal real estate contract you're used to. I have looked at some out of Colorado Springs where people put massive earnest money down on a condo being built, $40,000-$50,000. And when it was finally finished, they actually agreed to the price going up. They didn't even know they agreed to that in the contract. They thought they were paying $350,000 for a condo. Right at the end, they said, "Oh no, we want $450,000 now." And they agreed to it when they signed this crazy document. Your realtor did you zero good. Everybody else listening to me, if you walk into a new home builder or a custom home builder, do not think realtor whatsoever. You think attorney like Brad. That's what you think. These contracts are all different. Brad, give me some information. I don't know if you've looked at a KB Homes one in general, but some of the new contracts, new construction contracts, what have you seen?
Well, all these builder contracts are custom. You have to have an attorney review every single line, and some of these go 50 pages. They need to be reviewed.
They're crazy. Like I said, that one in Colorado Springs, these guys thought they locked into a price when they put the earnest money down. Somewhere buried deep in those 50-plus pages said, hey, we can charge you more if we want.
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy is that?
Yeah, these builder contracts normally make it very hard to get your earnest money back. But in recent years, they've done some things that allow the builder to actually cancel the deal if market forces change, or if prices for materials go up, like lumber goes up.
That's crazy.
They just changed. Lumber went up like 2 years ago because of COVID, very sharply. And so in response to that, some of these builder contracts let the builder pass that along.
And that's the problem. So, Alan, listen, I don't like KB Homes. I've never actually gotten a call. Listen to this, Alan. I have never taken a call on air of someone saying I like my KB home. I've never heard it. It's usually they do a walkthrough, they point out 1,000 things that are wrong, and these guys, put it off and put it off and put it off and put it off and put it off. And by the time they look at it, it's been 1 year and the warranty's gone. I mean, that's mainly what we get with KB Homes, and it always seems to be KB. I don't hear enough on Lennar or any of these other ones, but KB, I hear this all the time. But Alan, the injustice here was your real estate person. They should have told you this. They should have told you this, man. Now, here's the good news. I'm going to try to have someone. I just don't. They've never done anything. I almost don't like saying that we're even going to try. KB has never done a damn thing for anybody, in my opinion. Never. Absolutely never. Did you ask how about halfback or anything else, Alan?
Well, I asked him for a portion of it, and we would settle for a third or a half or
You'd
whatever.
settle for whatever the hell they're willing to give you.
Yeah, and also in defense of our realtor, when we happened to find we did have a realtor at the time, and we found this lot that KB was building these homes on.
Yeah,
and we liked the lot and went ahead, and so we kind of went ahead on our own at that time when we initially put the earnest money down.
Okay, so when you signed the agreement, you weren't represented by the realtor.
No.
Okay, well then that's different. I am curious how you brought one in afterwards, because generally a new builder is going to tell a realtor, you're not getting any commission. What are you, crazy? These guys walked into our place.
Well, she was working for us, and
okay,
I don't know.
None of it matters. I understand that defense of the realtor, but more or less what I'm trying to do is everybody out there, listen, if you walk into KB Homes or any custom builder, big, small, your neighbor, the guy that built your house 10 years ago, I don't care who it is. You got to have a real estate attorney look at it. I just don't know how to paint a picture in any way in my mind, Alan, that KB Homes is going to do anything, because my experience with them is they don't do anything for anybody. That's my opinion, and I personally would never buy a KB home. And you might be, this might have been your saving grace. You might have been very unhappy if you did end up going through with the transaction and everything's wrong with the house, like some of the calls we've had in the past.
Mark?
Yeah, there were other things that we didn't like.
Yes,
what if you got like an expert out there to just kind of show the
I'm telling you, in that contract, here's what it's going to come down to. Brad, chime in on this. You haven't looked at the agreement. I'm not asking for a legal opinion on this deal, but most likely that new builder contract is going to say there's no way you're getting the earnest money. If you point out different things to us, we will go there, we will go in, and we will rectify the situation if we need to per the agreement, and it's going to be to some kind of standard, like some industry standard that might not be up to Alan's snuff or my snuff, but that's what the language is going to be.
Yeah, most builder contracts limit the buyer's rights and remedies to making a claim on the 1-year warranty. Now they
so you can't. Okay, that's even better. So you can't even get out of it. You don't get your earnest money back. Your only remedy is to close on the house, buy it, and then go through the warranty company.
Yeah, although there is a Colorado statute, CDARA, construction defects, that's not waivable. So that's always another option.
Yeah, but go ahead.
One other thing. Yeah. The KB representative did send us, even though we sent him an email saying we were canceling, he sent us a cancellation agreement that he wants us to sign, which indicates they are going to retain the earnest money and that we have no future right on that home.
Yeah, you don't have to sign it. That's an interesting question. I mean, Brad, you don't have to sign something if you don't want to sign it. I mean, I'm assuming KB wants him to sign it because it's going to make their life easier, but why would he sign it?
Well, KB is giving him an out, so he doesn't have to close on the purchase if he doesn't want to.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Alan, I didn't even think of that, Brad. If you don't sign that agreement, they're going to expect you to buy that house.
Right.
And then if you don't buy it, there's probably something in the contract that says something about damages.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, my God. Listen,
Mark.
When you buy a new house, you have Brad look at it. Alan, it sucks. If you don't sign it, it's going to be even worse. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to put you on hold, Alan. I'm going to tell you something. Listen, I don't know how much it's going to cost. It's not going to be that high. But I want you to call Brad up and have him look at what they want you to sign. Maybe that would be smart this time. And I'm not trying to beat you up, Alan. Let me tell you, everybody does what you did. I hope by listening to this show, people listening, though, that are thinking of getting a custom home or a new track home, I hope they think of this conversation because you have to know what you're getting involved in. So, Alan, what I would do is call Brad up. Brad, you would just he could PDF over. He doesn't have to go to your office, right? Boom. You talk to him and have him look at it to see what the hell you're agreeing to. And once again, I can't stand KB Home. I'll say that. That's my opinion. KB Home, you suck. In Marc Mager's opinion, you suck.
KHOW Denver, 630 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by LASIK Vision Institute.
A couple new sore spots throughout the Denver metro and beyond to occupy your late morning commute.
Okay, Alan, did you want Brad O'Brien's phone number? I know Mark had highly suggested you
go
give
see
him a
Barbie
buzz
the other
before
day?
signing that.
No, I know I can't sit through
Okay,
it.
you got a pen, sir?
My son had the same feeling yesterday. So
Did you see it?
You couldn't. No, my son did.
370.
Hold on, guys.
7388. I know he's in for our show today till 2. I'm sure if you leave him a message, he'd call you back right away.
I'm going to give you a secret. The absolute best, and I mean this, in my opinion, the best in town when it comes to family law, especially divorces. You got a high profile divorce out there or a lot of money involved, you got to call the Harris Law Firm. I'm going to put it to you like that. 25 years in business. Over 25 attorneys are going to pair you up with the right person that's going to fight for you and your rights in the case.
Alan,
over 8,000 family law cases handled so far. These guys do it all. In fact, ask them about their early neutral assessment. That's when they look at what's going on and kind of paint a picture of what life's going to look like if you do file for a divorce and at the end of the case. 303-515-5000, the best. 303-515-5000. Euro Plumbing, $1,299 $2,000 gets you a 40-gallon
So that's
water
why,
heater installed, your old one hauled
suggested
away.
you get Brad
Not only
O'Brien
that, it
involved before
includes the
signing
new
anything
supply lines for the water and the gas, everything. The labor, only $1,299. You're not going to find a better deal. 50 gallons, only $13.99. EuroPlumbingColorado.net, EuroPlumbingColorado.net. Now, Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies, they don't just look at your investments. When you go from that working you to that retirement you've got a lot of different things to think of. One is income. How about different investments? You might not want to be as, scary, if you will, as you get older, more conservative. The healthcare aspect, the legacy, and then one of the most important parts that can bite you in the butt are the tax ramifications of where you're getting that monthly tax or that monthly cash flow. I want you to call these guys up. They're just not a sponsor of the show. Tom actually uses them as well. rpcenter.com is a website, free consultation. They'll help you get to that retirement you've always wanted. 970-663-3211, rpcenter.com. But, bam. 2 minutes on the knuckle, baby.
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
You got to make line 2 a priority. He's been holding since the top of the show, okay?
Got it. He's next.
I told him.
And then Glenn's got one for
Brad O'Brien.
For Brad. Brad's getting some play, baby. Okay, let's see here. I did Frank Duran or I didn't do Frank Duran? I did not do Frank Duran.
I don't think you
the real
did.
estate.
I have you did Water Pros and Garage Kings. There was a Water Pros already checked. I don't know if Tom did it yesterday.
I think he did an extra.
Okay.
I don't know, though. I noticed that, too. It might have been a FUBAR.
I don't really know. I just left it like that. Do you want me to uncheck it?
No.
All right.
I
So
assume.
you should do a Duran and an 888.
I'm doing Compass.
Nice.
What the heck are these? Air schedule limit. Oh, this is from their deal. You know, Denver was going through that eminent domain. I know why they hired H.C. Peck. It would be very hard to deal internally with these business owners. The property owners are a little different. The compensation, what kills me, is the compensation, of course, is the value before the project. And I understand the rationale, but there's something to be said like, okay, when you do all these upgrades, that property is now going to be worth 4 times the amount.
Well, but how do you know what it's going to be worth?
Well, it's evident what it's going to be worth depending on what they're building there.
Well, yeah, but how do you quantify that?
You can't, nor do they.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, they know what it's worth at the time of the sale.
Yeah. They paid to move everything. I mean, all in all, okay, well, if it didn't happen, here's a reality check for myself when I think about it. This is a real reality check. If it didn't happen, I wouldn't have bought the building behind me. The one I was renting, they took. They paid the landlord. I bought a 20,000 square foot building behind me. I ended up making almost $2 million on that building. So if that didn't happen, I would have never have bought that building. So it's hard for me to bitch about it in general.
Right.
But it's still a very unfair thing. I got lucky on that property. I got lucky. And a lot of it had to do with marijuana.
Right.
Because all of a sudden the building I bought as a Goodyear was worth double and triple.
Oh, yeah,
because there was no churches, schools. You could literally grow dope in there, which is what they do right now.
I know a guy with 2 warehouses up by I-70 that were just rotting away, and he made a fortune.
And they were worth nothing the next day.
Right.
Talk station. Online at khout.com.
All right, 303-713-8255. Brad, I've got some questions for you, and we're going to go to that. This guy's been holding forever, but I want you to kind of think about this. Different things that have changed, and one of them is pet deposits. If you're renting right now, I didn't realize this, but in the state of Colorado, pet deposits have changed massively. Wait till you hear the difference in a second. But Dave, what's going on? Where's this mold smell coming from?
Hey, Mark, this is a weird one. I own a 1906.
Hey, I sit next to Doc. You're not going to blow me away. Go ahead.
I own a 1906 house in Old Colorado City, and we've had all this rain. About 2 months ago, I started to smell like a faint mold smell in one area of my house, and now it's gotten stronger and stronger, and I don't know where it's coming from. I don't see any visible mold. What's your suggestion on how to track something like this down? I know it's somewhere.
It doesn't necessarily have to be mold. When we get a lot of rain like that, I mean, you do start smelling just the water buildup under your house. There are, to make sure I doubt it's in the walls or anywhere, man. I think it's probably it's just coming up, but you're not seeing anything in the basement?
I have a finished basement with a perimeter drain and a triple sump pump.
It might be sitting right in that drain. Do you got a French drain?
Yeah.
I wonder if you got standing water sitting in there. I know that smell you're talking about. We've got a house with a walkout, and after about 3 weeks of rain, I smell that. But the difference is ours seems to go away within a couple days without rain. You're saying you still haven't got rid of it.
No, and it's getting stronger.
Let's do this, Suzanne. Let's get Rock on. I want to ask Rock.
I just tried him. I'll text him.
Yeah, if he went out there, how does he find mold? That's a good question. If you think you smell mold, how do you go about making sure you don't have it? I kind of like that.
Air for it, Mark?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he can check the air for mold, but I don't think they're going to find mold. I think it's sitting water that hasn't turned into mold, but we'll see what our expert has to say. If anybody's going to know, it's going to be Rock. Now, Glenn, what's your question on this contract?
Hello, Mark. November 2022, Sun signed a housing contract, and it didn't specify a unit. He's going to terminate it. It's for up at CSU.
So it's technically school housing, right? It's not a outside rental. And I ask that for a reason. Some of like what my daughter's in, hers isn't like renting a house. It's more of like a hotel.
A room.
Well, not just a room. Brad, real quick, some of the student housing is not. You're not actually leasing in the terms like an apartment lease. You're doing something else, almost like a short-term stay. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, if it's privately owned, you would do a lease.
Correct. If it's not privately owned, though, like student housing in general.
Yeah. So you'd have a license in the dorm, not a tenancy, not a lease tenancy.
Got it. So it's more of a licensing than a tenancy.
Right.
Okay. I'm sorry. Keep going there, Glenn.
Yeah, it's an off-campus housing complex.
Okay, got it.
So signed in November. Not going to follow through with it this fall, and it's pretty clear. I can see there's a 6-month early termination fee.
Sure.
Fine, for no reason. My question is there any possible way getting out? Like if they've already rented that to somebody else?
I get you, Brad.
And pay it.
Brad, we get this a lot. It's like I don't know how it's conscionable if they hold you to a lease, even though you signed it, you agreed to a year, 6 months, whatever, and you move out and they re-rent it the next month. I understand why you would owe anything in between, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, under Colorado law, a landlord is not allowed to double recover on rent. So if you move out early, they might charge you the rent for the rest of the term, but if they happen to re-rent it before that term is up, then they have to stop charging you the rent.
And that's by statute. So, I mean, they have to do it.
It's common law.
Okay.
Case law.
Let me throw one other thing in there. It does not specify in the beginning of this lease a unit because at some point they were going to match him with a roommate. So how would you prove that that unit was rented or not rented?
That's curious.
That makes it really hard.
I wonder if they do that on purpose or that was just because they were matching the kid up.
I think it's on purpose because it's in the contract.
Well, I guess in that case, you'd have to figure out if the whole thing's rented.
Yeah.
Exactly,
I mean, really, the entire. I mean, do you think the whole thing would be rented? Is that normal when he was there last year?
He wasn't there last year. He was just going to transfer to it.
Oh, I got you.
I could ask, from a different school.
So, but to answer your question, if they do rent it out, you've got that weird little caveat in your problem. But if they do rent it out, then you would be entitled to a refund for that amount of time by case law.
But almost impossible to prove it is my guess.
I don't know that. I mean, I look at it this way. If there's 5 rooms and 5 are rented, I mean, you might have to go knock on the door and ask one of the kids. I mean, I wouldn't find, I'd probably do that if I was in the area. It wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, but it's more than, I think there are more than just a 5-room unit. I mean, it's,
it's massive. So in other words, whoever answers the door is going to have no idea.
Exactly.
Well, you can check with them and take their word on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot, but...
It is worth a shot. So my son works for Walmart, and he just got a great package to move, and they paid for his moving. They paid all this, so he went down and signed a 1-year lease in Nebraska. And 3 months after he was down there, the district guys liked him so much, they wanted to move him to a bigger city. So he had to go to his landlord and ask how to get out. His landlord, in his lease, Brad, was very straightforward. It simply said this. It said, if we, you owe us for the entire term till we rent it out. Simple as that. Now, in his case, the only unit that would be available would be his. So they'll probably have it rented out in a month. But, I mean, they didn't try to play any games. Glenn's people sound like they're trying to play games.
That does seem intentional.
Yeah, it does seem intentional. We didn't assign a unit, so therefore, if we don't rent anything, you owe us. Do you see a lot of issues with student housing? In other words, for the parents out there, the in-state ones that are going to go up to CU or CSU or wherever, when it comes to student housing, is that something an attorney should look over?
Yeah, any leasing agreement.
Okay, maybe for this exact reason. Yeah, I mean, that could have saved this guy money. The other thing some of the stuff is tricky. What happens when you have 3 or 4 people renting a house together? 3 or 4 kids renting a house together by the college, nothing to do with school property. But, man, a lot of people don't realize if one of them skips town or fails out, the others are generally 100% on the hook, right?
Yeah, that's a big risk for a parent to take. To if the lease says that they are jointly and severally liable for the lease of the whole place, then if any one of the 4 student tenants doesn't pay their rent, the other 3 have to take responsibility for it.
It's crazy. Miguel, hold tight. You're next. He's got a problem with the dealership. I don't know which one, but I can guess it's up north, but I could be wrong on that. Alan's got a problem with the Brighton Police Department. Not sure what that is. We're going to find out.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by LASIK Vision Institute.
A couple new sore spots throughout the Denver metro and beyond to occupy your late morning commute. Up on the north end of town, I-76 eastbound is closed due to a vehicle fire between 88th Avenue and 96th. We're seeing heavy congestion around the area. All the way south to Highlands Ranch, Santa Fe, both north and southbound. Watch out for road construction in each center lane at Highlands Ranch Parkway. And out west into the mountains, I-70 east and westbound. Watch out for those intermittent closures through Floyd Hill for blasting operations. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, mostly sunny skies, high of 83 this afternoon. The current temperature in Denver is 75 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Right now at the LASIK Vision Institute, we're offering 20% off our...
Absolutely. Do you have a minute while I get their phone number? Hey. Absolutely.
Have time for a bathroom break?
Granite, natural
That's
quartz,
okay. Just have it pin handy.
quartz
Hang on a
composite,
minute.
all natural
Miguel,
stone
you're
and
next.
man-made
Hang on.
materials. They have it all at the Art of Granite. I love Mitch Fleury and what he does. He can come out, they'll do a measurement, the installation. They did our kitchen. I love the cabinets we picked out. We had them back to do the bathroom. They did our laundry room, then another bathroom. You want the most beautiful house with the most beautiful countertops and new cabinets and sinks. You want to call the Art of Granite. Mitch can even give you a quote over the phone. He'll ask for a few pictures, maybe some basic measurements. He'll give you a great idea how much that new kitchen will cost. And if you get a kitchen, guess what? The bathroom's free. I love that. 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919. Give Mitch a call right now. 303-386-5919. Now, made in the shade. Man, Man, you name
anything
it.
like that,
Shade, shutters,
I really
blinds,
caution
drapes,
you
they
doing
have
that
it. Maybe
instead.
you're
I
doing
would
a
think
fix
you
and
should
flip.
call an
You want the
attorney, in
least
my
expensive
personal
stuff, or you got a $3 million house.
but if
You
you
want everything
want,
automated.
Sam,
they
I
have
could
it
put you
all.
on with-
And they do
on
it
the
for
show to
less
have
than
asked
these
the question
companies
about
that
that
make
store
you
to
do
see
your
what
own
the guys
measurement and
advise.
installation. They do it all. 720-458-6566. DenverShades.co.
If your will is simple or something, that might be one thing. But if you have any sort of assets that you're wanting left to family members or to
I forgot to
someone,
do Compass,
certainly
didn't I?
would
Damn it.
Make sure you have all your ducks in a row with that, with an attorney.
And you thought you were doing so good.
Yeah.
God bless.
So is
Yeah.
Miles moving again?
He asked for a package. In order for him to move again, he asked for a big amount of money. We'll see.
Headache for the folks that
You mean salary or all the other accoutrements?
Big, about a 10% cost of living adjustment, and then about
He's wonderful.
anything
You're most
he ends
welcome.
up
Call me
paying
anytime. Bye-bye.
for the existing lease.
Right.
And
moving expenses.
The actual moving expenses, yeah. The big one's the salary change, though.
Right. Where do they want to move into? Do they tell them?
They were talking. Where were they thinking with Miles? Suzanne.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln.
Wow.
Yeah, you're going for so 25,000 people to 250,000 people.
It's a big.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Miguel's been holding a long time. Alan is just fine. He's the one who has sent me pictures of his tongue last night.
Nice.
On line 4.
Nice.
But line 1's been holding for an hour, okay? So would you take him next?
I will.
Thank you. House spots, house spots.
Pro bid.
Neil Young's coming to town. Man, I sure would like to see the Strokes on Monday. Doubt that's happening.
Was Steph going to call somebody when Tom?
Yeah,
is
she's
out of
going to let
surgery?
me know.
She'll
I'll
text us
text
when he's
her
out.
now.
Okay.
See
Let me
what's
know.
going on.
By looking at the device, it looks like it'd be a long surgery to get that thing in place.
Poor guy.
It's hard to tell how big it is.
Yeah,
I
well,
would
it's
assume
as big
it's
as your
like
disc.
this.
I doubt it. Your spine's pretty
I think
small.
it'll only be that big because it's
Yeah.
the size of a disc.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically.
Well, it's a disc, but then it's got these wings.
Right.
Oh,
Yes,
Mark.
the wings probably-
Titanium.
It's probably like that.
What's it called again?
Tops.
Tops. I looked at it.
Did you look at the device?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You think how big it is then? What are you thinking?
Well, I think it's probably the main part is that, and the wings are probably like that.
It's kind of cool. It almost looks like
It's like a bionic bat.
a suction, not a suction
He's
cup,
still
but
in surgery.
like a marshmallow.
Mark.
Yeah.
He's still in surgery.
Yeah, I figured. I mean,
That's
think of
4
that.
hours.
They go in and they take out a disc, and then they literally
They put an artificial disc
and
in.
put in a
basically.
new disc. It seems like it would take. To me, it seems like it would take 10 hours. The crazy part about it is when he wakes up, it's like 1 second.
Oh yeah.
He was nervous as shit the last couple days. Or like they say in Christmas Vacation, shitting bricks. Oh, I'm sorry, shitting rocks.
That's a long time to be under.
That is.
Mushroom churches claim use is religious. I don't even know what that means. Oh, magic mushrooms. Oh, my God. So the Magic Mushroom Church wants the tax breaks for a... Look at that guy. How could you even interview that guy with a straight face?
10 seconds.
Are you looking at him? You
Yep.
can't interview him with a straight face. I wouldn't even know what to say to him. You wacko. All right, 303-713-8255. We do have 2 lines open. It's a good time to get through. We got 2 hours to go. 303 Martino, 303-713-8255. You've been ripped off, taken advantage of. Maybe you just want to expose some deadbeat landlord or a corrupt contractor. a malicious merchant, you pretty much name it. You found the place. Now, this person has been holding a while. I do want to tell you real quick about Frank Duran, the real estate man. You know, when Frank sold our house in Castle Rock, he got a bidding war going. I couldn't believe. I thought he was crazy. He was listing our house for less than what I knew we could get for it, but he did it for a reason, to create that bidding war. He did a 3D walkthrough. We had almost 100,000 people walk through our house on their computer from California to New York over one weekend. We had about 20 or 30 different offers to go through on Monday, and it was just absolutely insane. Frank Duran sells more homes in 1 month than most realtors sell in 6 months. Or, I'm sorry, a year and a half, 18 months. You just want the best. It's Frank Duran. Now.
And the nicest guy you're ever going to meet.
He is the nicest guy. You used him, didn't you? Did you use him? No?
No, I had
you bought a brand new unit. I forgot about that. Okay, Miguel, what is going on, man? First of all, thanks for holding so long. What is going on, Miguel?
Hey, so I'm calling for a friend of mine. She just got a car from a dealership and just wondering if there's a way out.
Miguel, a couple questions I hope you know the answers to. When did she buy it?
Saturday, although she signed a different contract on Monday.
What do you mean different contracts? Why would she sign something different on Monday?
Apparently she had a co-signer on Saturday, and she was better off just by herself.
Oh, okay.
So that's why she signed.
I get it. So the co-signer is going to have nothing to do with this. They're not on the new paperwork, right?
Right.
And so she bought it. Did she take it home Saturday?
Yes.
Why does she want to return it? Why does she want out? Let's start there.
Mostly just because it seems like it's a bit much for her.
What kind of vehicle is it?
She made a dumb decision.
What kind of vehicle?
It's a 2019 Nissan Altima.
How many miles on it, roughly?
40,000.
40,000. How much she spend on it?
28.
28. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, I'm going to look it up.
It's a little bit on the higher, but it's not.
Is it
crazy?
Is the problem that she's going to have trouble making the payments? I'm trying to think. Why does she want out now?
Buyer's remorse. She realized she didn't want to spend that much more money, or that much money anyway.
The payments? Are we talking the payments, or are we talking the purchase price of the car?
Purchase price of the car.
She realized she overpaid, and she's upset.
Yeah, I guess.
Does the car run okay?
Sounds like it.
What was the dealership's name?
It's a Nissan dealership in Greeley.
What's it called? Of course.
I actually don't know.
You don't know what it's called, but it's a Nissan, so it's a Nissan new dealership as well, right?
I believe so, yes.
Well, listen, we can call up and see if they'll do anything, but technically they don't have to do a damn thing, man. Most likely she owns that vehicle. Hold tight. I would like to know the name of the dealership. It sometimes a phone call can get it handled, but, legally, forget about it. I think she owns that vehicle. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but I would love to look at the agreement, make sure she signed everything, and owns the car.
Have her call us.
Yeah. 303-713-TALK. Hold tight. We got another couple hours.
Bigger is not always better. With car accidents, I don't want a giant firm where I'm just a number. That's why I use John Fuller as my accident lawyer.
Hey, Josh, this is Doc from the Martino Show.
Hey, how are you, Doc?
Good. Who are you dealing with this rental agreement?
Well, I called their corporate office, who handed me off to their regional And so, my only question is, I'm still waiting.
Brad, you want water or anything?
On my cleaning and damage fees, and I might just wait till that is settled.
Okay, well, listen, you have caller ID, right?
I do.
Okay, so this is my private cell phone. After that happens, just give me a call, and I'll see what I can do.
Now, you're in Boca? Is that where you're
No, I'm in Denver.
Okay.
No, he was saying one of the guys that works with us spends the winters in Florida. But so just give me a call after everything settles down.
I will. Yeah, I thought of that today. Maybe I don't want to ruffle any feathers.
Okay,
Get all my money back.
not a bad idea.
I'll shoot you a text.
Okay, thanks, Josh.
It shouldn't be buzzing me when I'm washing my hands. Like, the sink won't come to me.
You met Frank?
What do you know?
Frank.
God.
Just a nice
Technology thing here.
That's why honestly, I very much miss the boards downstairs. Because they're at countertop height.
Where you can stand.
Keeps trying to convert me, though.
Hey, Miguel.
We have these great arguments.
Any chance we can call your friend to get more information on the dealership and that kind of thing?
and
I
I'm an
assume,
atheist,
or
so we have these
go
great
ahead.
Oh, we mean
conversations.
religious conversion.
Yeah, going back and forth.
Okay.
Well, there's Greeley Nissan, and then it looks there. Oh, it is. Oh, okay. And then, so it's Greeley Nissan and Mark. Do you have a copy of her agreement? And have her email it to us and we can look at it real quick. We're happy to give them a call and see if maybe they would offer her some grace. Usually those contracts are pretty ironclad. But we're happy if she wants, we need her name and that kind of thing. Give a call, but I mean, see if maybe they will offer her some grace, Miguel. And they told her no. Dang it. Yeah, I'm sorry we don't have better answers for you on that. Usually when those contracts are signed, unless there's something bad with the car or something, I mean, generally, those dealerships are like hard no, but... Yeah, because we're live till 2. Give her a buzz. We got open lines right now. Give her a buzz and give us a call back. Or have her call us. It might be a little easier that way. Okay? All right, Miguel. Take care. Call us back. Bye-bye. 906-7635. Noel? Hi, it's Suze with the Tom Martino Show. How you doing? Good. I understand you have a Comcast issue you want to talk to the guys about, correct? Okay, you're going to hang tight. We're on a break now. Listen to the phone. You got one call ahead of you. I don't know if he's going to take you or the other call first. The other call just came in about 15 minutes ago, so he may just, since that person's holding longer, take them instead. Just hang tight. Listen to the phone, Noel. And then when you hear your name, come on and tell Mark what's going on. Got it? Thank you, darling. I'm going to try to make a call.
Sounds good.
Out of 20 calls, Brad, how many people actually hire you on the tenant side when it comes to tenant landlord?
Maybe one.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
They just don't have money. Someone...
Generally, the reason they're calling you is because they're getting evicted, right?
Yeah, or they didn't get their security deposit back, but it's like $1,500, and I would have to charge them a couple times that just to recover it.
Yeah.
It goes to go to court. So I say small claims court.
Yep.
Or draft a letter under the security deposit return statute. It's very powerful with the penalties in there.
Isn't that treble damages too?
Yeah, or 1,000.
Whatever.
It is, but I could talk to her without looking at it. But the landlord has 7 days to return the security deposit after that letter as a safe harbor. If they don't, that's when you can sue them.
So, if, best case is they ignore it. If their intention isn't to return it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they charged me $200 when I left my last place.
Total?
Yeah, for deep cleaning and
I wouldn't argue that.
I didn't argue. I said, fine, just And all I had to put down was 1 month rent for the place. I said, my dad is Brad O'Brien. How much do I have to put down? And they said, nothing, but just in case, give us 1 month's rent.
All right, coming back. We have new information on the Biden family crime syndicate, and I'm going to break it all down for you. Just how much trouble are Hunter and Joe in? Well, we'll see whether the justice system can actually work, but it's a pretty big deal. 630 KHOW, Denver's talk station.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, try to make your life just a little bit better. You've been ripped off or taken advantage of. We want to hear from you. We've recouped over $300 million in cash, merchandise, exchanges, and refunds and services over the past 40 years. That's more than most law firms. So if you have been ripped off or have that contractor that doesn't want to show up after you paid them, you give us a call, 303-713-8255 or 303-MARTINO. Right now we do have two lines open, 303-713-8255. Now in studio with me, Brad O'Brien. He is a real estate attorney that's on our referral list or referrallist.com. So any real estate questions you have, but Brad, I cannot believe all the changes recently to the tenant-landlord agreements. And I do want to talk about some of those, but real quick, this hour is brought to you by 888heating.com. If that AC is not up to snuff, or we've got winter coming, believe it or not, and that furnace isn't working, these guys, they have the apples to apples guarantee. They have the best pricing out there. And what I love about 888 Heating, they just don't come out and say, oh, you need a new system. I don't care how old that system is. They will give you a price to finish or to fix it. They will actually give you a price to fix it. And then if you want a price on a new system, they can do that. And they also have that guaranteed is that lowest pricing. Check them out at 888heating.com. Now, Brad.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
I have a YouTube question for Brad.
Yeah, what is it?
It's curious. If you bury a person in your backyard, I hear the property can't be foreclosed on. Is that true?
What?
Yeah, thanks to Todd on YouTube.
Is that some kind of old wives' tale? I've never heard that.
I don't know anything about that.
Brad, I've never heard about that either.
They're somehow classifying it as a cemetery now?
Is there...
Uh-oh, I know where that's going to go.
That would be kind of weird. Her family's got...
I knew it.
Her family's got a graveyard. It's in Georgia, but it's like a family graveyard on the actual property. I wonder how that does work. I mean, I'll tell you this one that was strange, too. What was that in Oklahoma with the...
It was right in a parking lot, a grocery store parking lot.
Yeah, where was that? Sand Springs. Sand Springs, Oklahoma. We delivered grocery or snack cakes that we sold to this grocery store right in the middle of the parking lot. I mean, right in the middle of the cement. probably a 20 by 20 area that was a Indian graveyard that they didn't move it. It just sat there right in the middle. But when it comes to, Todd's question, how does that work? If someone's buried, would you have to exhume the body, or you're not allowed to? Or, of course, no one's ever called you up and asked you this question.
Well, I think a lender may not want to foreclose on a property with graveyard because of the implications and liabilities, just like they wouldn't want to foreclose on an environmentally damaged property.
Well, like an old gas station with underground tanks.
Right. Then it's the bank's property. Problem.
It's funny you said that. I passed this place on Wolfsenberger and I-25 years ago. We'd go by it every day in the morning, 20 plus years ago when we lived over there. And it was an old gas station. Now it's a Starbucks. But that thing sat empty, oh my God, for probably 15 years. And the reason was those underground tanks. When you buy a property like that, you pretty much own whatever's there, right?
Yeah, under CERCLA, which is the environmental responsibility law.
And that could cost you a fortune. Yeah. I always did wonder how much Starbucks ended up paying on that. What are some of the big changes in the landlord-tenant relationship? What are some of the issues people got to think about if they're a landlord now, such as the pet deposits? Explain what prior to the change, a pet deposit was basically whatever the landlord wanted it to be.
Yeah, we had a lot of changes this week, Monday, 2 days ago. In Colorado landlord-tenant law.
Go ahead.
So pet deposits, now there's a cap of $300 per pet for the security deposit. And then pet rent is no more than $35 per month, or 1.5% of the monthly rent. So when you get above $2,350, that's when you want to go with the 1.5%, not the $35.
So, wow.
Also, the security deposit has to be refundable. No more non-refundable security deposits for pet rent.
Oh, for the pets.
Right.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize people did that, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Even if the pet ruins the place?
It's you can't put in the lease, this is a non-refundable security deposit.
Yeah, almost like a upfront fee just to have a pet.
Understood. I see.
Now, the curious part is I don't think I agree with that one. Depending on the house, you might not want pets in there. Can you still have a pet-free environment, or you have to allow pets, or that hasn't changed?
No, this just says where it's allowed to have a pet, the deposit can only be so much.
Yeah, God, I don't know if I agree with that. I just don't know. Is it per pet, do you know, or is it?
I read it that way.
Per pet. So if you had 2 pets, it would be $670 a month, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Sometimes these ambiguities in the bills that pass are not resolved for weeks or months later until courts look at them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
It
doesn't say, as far as I know, per pet. But
what else is a big change last Monday?
You can't evict now for anything but rent. So any late fees or any interest charges or anything else like
there's got to be
damage.
Caveats to that, such as like if they turn it into a meth house.
Well, there's a caveat if it's like a duplex or triplex where the landlord lives in one of the units. So like there's a small landlord exception.
What about destruction of property?
Yeah, like if they in other words, they said there's no pets, and you find out they do have pets. They got a monkey running around in there. I mean, you're saying you can't evict them for that.
You can't evict. Well, yes, you can. You can't evict for fees. You can only evict for rent. But property damage or having a non-allowed pet or non-allowed tenant is a material violation of the lease, not a failure to pay something.
I got
you. So
you
could evict separately on breach of lease grounds.
So give me an idea of something someone could have gotten evicted for before Monday, and now they can't.
Well, late fees was already removed like 2 years ago as something you could evict for.
Did that change at all Monday? Late fees?
No, it actually got more restrictive. So you can evict for fewer things now. You can only really evict now for base rent that's not paid.
That's it. Yeah. If they owe you other monies, you cannot evict based upon those.
Here's an example: utilities. Okay, sometimes the tenant has to pay the utilities.
Yeah.
So I don't think that now you can evict if the tenant didn't pay some utility.
Oh my goodness! What else changed Monday?
Let's see. Landlords are not allowed to mark up third-party service fees.
Oh,
to the tenant.
Air conditioning breaks. Someone comes out, charges a landlord $500. He charges the tenant $600. Can't do it.
Right. You have to pass along those third-party expenses at cost.
These are very tenant-friendly rules, all of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was the whole point of this legislative session.
was to make it friendly.
Right.
Which is unbelievable after COVID, where people didn't even have to pay rent for, over a year, and you couldn't evict them. And then they move out, trash your place, and you get nothing.
Well, it's another blue city.
It's really crazy, man. I mean, some of it I like so far, but in general, I just don't like the government stepping in and deciding an agreement between me and someone I rent to. The credit aspect drives me insane, Brad. I can't run a credit report now on a tenant. Now, is that only for a home? If it's on a commercial building or something?
Oh, these changes are all residential.
Everything's residential.
Yeah.
But you can't take into consideration a credit score.
Right. You can get some streamlined credit report now that just says who they are, that they have a job, and really, but you can't look at it.
How about a rental history?
You can look up to 7 years of rental history if you're required to by federal law. Like if it's a housing assistance program.
No. But I'm saying if I'm just renting out my place, let's say I own a duplex, I can't look at a credit and make a decision based on that. And then I just don't like it. I can't believe you can't even look at credit. It makes no sense to me. Anyhow, let's see here. Alan, what is going on with you, man? Suzanne sent me some pictures I haven't looked at yet. What's going on, Alan?
Yeah, Tom, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead, man.
All right. So last Monday, I had just started a new job, as a matter of fact. I'm a plumber, and I started helping remodeling the Chick-fil-A there in Brighton at Prairie Center.
Okay.
So I got off of work at 3:30, and I had a seizure out of the middle of nowhere in my car while driving home, and I ended up high-centered on a median.
Oh my God! So did you pass out?
Essentially, this whole thing is pretty blurry.
Why the hell am I looking at pictures of his tongue?
Ask him.
Why did you send us? What does that have to do? Did you bite your tongue? The seizure? Is that what that is?
That's exactly what happened.
Oh my God, that looks horrible. You bit the hell out of your tongue.
I completely lost consciousness. Had a massive seizure.
Suzanne, put these up on our YouTube feed. People can go to YouTube and then put up, type in Troubleshooter Network. You can see these. It's evident this guy had a seizure, or you're just crazy and decided to bite the hell out of your own tongue.
Well,
There's holes in it.
I may be a little bit crazy, Tom. I'm not going to lie to you.
So what happened? You have a seizure. You end up in a medium. Now what?
Okay, so I end up some citizen called me in.
What do you mean called you in? A citizen called you in?
Called some passerby called the police.
Oh, okay.
Because I was high-centered on this median.
Yeah, good idea. Good. I would have too. Now what?
Anyways, so the police came and immediately arrested me and booked me into the jail.
Whoa. Hold on. I got to pause you right there to take this break. Why did they arrest him? Or I wonder why. Because he's parked up there? Did he not say he had a medical issue? Everybody hold tight. We're going to get to the bottom of this right after these messages.
Addiction, trauma, depression, and anxiety can make you feel like you're alone. We promise you're not. The Raleigh House is here for you. The team at the Raleigh House.
The question there is, did he have a history of seizures?
That would be a big question.
Then he should have expected it.
But I wonder what... He didn't hit anybody. I just wonder what the arrest was for. Careless driving?
Yeah. If you have a history of seizures, you can't even have a driver's license.
David Ellis, here's what I love about him. He weighs it and pays it right in front of you. Maybe you have an old tangled necklace or mismatched earrings. How about a broken watch or different coins, maybe gold coins? These guys will give you the best price out there. Don't go to a pawn store. Don't go to one of these conventions at the hotels. If you want the best money for the precious metals, you go to David Ellis Jewelers. They've been around forever. DavidEllisJewelry.com is a website. They're at 3rd and Clayton. DavidEllisJewelry.com.
Yeah.
Now I want to tell you about The Art of Granite. Suzanne and I have used Mitch and his guys numerous times. Our countertops are gorgeous. We did granite mostly. I think we might have done marble upstairs, but he's got it all. When it comes to the actual countertops, he has quartz, he has granite, he has man-made materials. He's got everything you can imagine. And on top of that, his labor is very inexpensive and very accurate. They come out and they measure everything with lasers and they fabricate the surface. They have the most beautiful cabinets to choose from. They have the most beautiful sinks. We got this big farm sink in our laundry room. It's absolutely massive and we love it. You got to call this guy up. And the other great thing about him, I don't know of any other company that gives bids over the phone. He can give you a good idea of what that new kitchen or bathroom or laundry room is going to cost by calling 303-386-5919. You're going to talk to Mitch straight up. He's the guy, 303-386-5919. 5919, and right now, if you get the kitchen done, they're going to do the bathroom for free. You're not going to get a better deal. TheArtofGranite.com is your phone number, TheArtofGranite.com. Mark Massey, he is our expert on reverse mortgages. What I love about Mark is he has other products as well. So if you need to tap into equity, you've been thinking about a reverse because you don't want to move out of there, he's going to tell you if it's right for you. Maybe a second's a better deal for you. But he's going to be honest and upfront when it comes to reverse mortgages. 720-500-7719, EmpowerReverse.com.
It could be 5 minutes, it could be 45 minutes. If tomorrow works better for you, I can put you on our call list for tomorrow.
Hey, Mark, I called this guy, Josh, about the rental agreement with his son.
Yeah, that's what we're here for sure. Probably he may have me reach out to one of our divorce attorneys.
So he's going to call me
chime in
when
and
he gets
powwow
that
with
back,
you.
and
We
then I'll
just
call
ask for a little
and
bit
see
of
if
your
we can
time.
get some refund.
Brad, I'm going to ask you
Okay,
about
hang tight.
security
Listen to the phone.
deposits in
Yeah.
general, too.
Okay. Let's do our best. If it starts scooching towards that,
So
we'll line you up
commercial
for tomorrow,
side,
okay?
really nothing's changed, right?
Right.
Hang on. Hey, Mark. Mark.
Yes.
Hey, Tommy's in recovery.
Oh, good. How long did that end up being? Ask her.
He went in at 7:30.
Wow, that's 5 hours.
It's a lot of hours. But she said he'll be in there for a couple hours before she'll get to see him or anything.
Yeah, they got to wean him off the juice.
Oh, poor guy. It is, especially for an older gentleman, or a person.
That's pretty big back surgery at 70.
Yeah. But he's strong. He's so strong and healthy. I'm sure he can manage it.
Okay, I did do...
I've been checking him off for you.
All right, I'm going to do pro bid.
Unless I missed one, but I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Navage.
That's disgusting.
I told you.
Poor Jeff's eating. We
Jeff,
gotta hear this shit.
I've made this offer to every board op we've ever had. I'll make it to you because it's only fair.
While he's eating.
I will give you
it.
$100 to drink Doc's Navage.
God bless. You're disgusting.
$100 cash, baby.
You are so gross.
I'll give you $200 if you finish it.
Oh, you are
100 for half.
Are you
$200 to finish
You're going to
it.
make yourself sick. I can see it on your face right now.
Nope, I'm just saying
you're
what's
looking
going
like You're
on.
going to barf.
Hey, listen, man. No balls, no balls. No matter what, there is a price. I don't know what your price is, but I guarantee there's a price.
You couldn't get me within 100 miles of a Navage.
Yeah, okay, for $100,000? Ah.
No, not for 100,000. Maybe $1 million.
Yeah. There's always a price. It doesn't matter. I used to think, okay, how much, if Bill Gates wanted to sleep with me like that movie, how much would it be? There's always a number. I don't know what that number is, but there's always a number. I think that's how Suzanne and I ended up together. Someone
hey, it's
offered
the
her
Martino show.
large
My
amounts
expert's
of
available.
cash.
Are you available? I can hear you okay, but let me put you on
Are you
hold so I
married,
can
Brad?
call our expert, okay?
How long you been married?
Hang tight. Listen through the phone. Hey, Mark.
Uh-oh.
28
28?
Hold on.
Hey, take
Hey.
note. He doesn't know how long he's been
28
married.
years, yeah,
I
28.
know how long we've been
Hey,
married.
Mark.
I was counting the days.
Well, do you know your anniversary? That's the
Yeah,
thing.
I do. 28 years.
Okay.
We barely got you beat. We're 30 this year.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
I'm calling Rock, and I have that caller back on for the mold smell. Can you do that one real quick before we go to Alan? Remember the mold in the house smell?
Well, let's just wait because I already started with Alan. I don't want to switch gears right there.
Well, I'll see if Rock's going to.
He'll
hang
be
on a
good.
minute.
Rock will be good. Tell him if he's not good, I'll never call him again ever.
Yeah, right. Did I dial the number right? Oh my God.
I got to get to where I got to know why Alan got arrested.
Oh, you want me to tell you why?
No.
Okay.
And you know it would be important to find out if he knows the person who called the 911, because there's something called a post-ictal
I'll fly
state.
the pictures
After
again.
you have a seizure,
That's what I'm calling
you're
it.
kind of out of it and groggy and everything.
Fly
Hold
the
on.
If
pictures.
the other person could say, "Yeah, I found him and he was,"
All right, 303-713-8255. I'll let you know when the line's open. Alan was driving down the road. He left a construction job. He was working at a chicken joint. And man, he basically had a seizure. He passes out. We put the pictures up on our YouTube. It's evident something went wrong because the pictures are of his tongue. And there's basically holes in his tongue. He bit the hell out of his own tongue numerous times. They look painful, is it. And then the cops rolled up. Someone drove by. He ends up in a medium. Someone drove by, saw him up there, and calls the cops. So far, everything's normal. The cops show up, and according to Alan, they immediately arrested you?
That's right, Tom. They immediately arrested me. I was sitting at Brighton Police Station for about 6 hours.
Why did they arrest you? What did they say? They got to have some form of probable. I guess the probable cause is you're sitting in the medium.
They booked me, Tom, on the DUI. And
wait a
now,
minute.
mind you.
Well, wait. Did they give you a roadside when they showed up?
No, they. I don't recall exactly what happened.
Hey, Doc said, Alan, hold on. I get it. Doc said something relevant during the break. After someone, what were you saying, Doc?
I said after someone has a seizure, they're in what's called a post-ictal state, which is they're a little bit confused, blurry.
So they could appear drunk.
They can appear drunk, but obviously, you don't have to take a roadside sobriety test.
No, so what? But Alan,
wait, but when they brought him to the station, they should have done either a blow by
correct.
or
Did they
or
do a
take his
blood alcohol when you got there?
They took my blood.
Yeah.
And
Alan, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, you weren't drinking.
Oh, absolutely not.
So
Tom,
it came back. Everything came back negative.
This was my first day working with
Alan, hold on. Everything came back negative.
To my knowledge, I have not received.
So you were at the police department for 6 hours because
6 hours
because
and
they
then,
thought you were drunk.
Yes, and then that's right. And I was there for 6 hours, and then they transported me to the Adams County Jail, and I was there for 3 days.
3 days? Did you not explain to him at this point? This sounds okay. You know what, Alan? Listen, man. I decided to follow my gut sometimes. Whether I'm right or wrong, I've got to say something. I'm having a hard time believing you. I get right after the fact you might have appeared drunk. You're saying you didn't drink anything. I can even understand getting you and bringing you to the police station. Where you're losing me is where they lock you up for 3 days. Why? Under what reasoning?
On pretense of a DUI. And I didn't.
Did you take a breathalyzer? Forget about the blood test.
No.
Did they offer
did
you a
not
breathalyzer?
I did not take
All right,
a
get Joe Lazare on. You know what, Alan? Hold on, man. We want to help you out. I find this outrageous. I can't even believe it. I want to get Joe Lazare on and see what he's got to say about this. He's a criminal defense attorney. And let me ask you this, though, Alan. Where do we stand now? Did they finally cut you free, or are you calling me from the pokey?
No, my sister bonded me out. So
How much was your
free now.
bond?
It was $1,500.
And you didn't have drugs or alcohol in your system?
I had nothing in my system, nothing in my car.
So they still got you on a DUI?
What's that?
They still have you on a DUI. That's it, right?
DWAI is actually the charge. But, I mean, same difference pretty much.
I can't. I've never heard anything like this. I don't even know how this is possible. How is it possible? 3 days, he's got to get bonded out. First of all, I didn't even realize when you get pulled over for a DWAI that they put you in jail or in county for 3 days.
Well, maybe
I
for
thought you'd get bailed
detoxing?
out.
Maybe for detoxing, Mark, and they thought he was drunk.
I have no
Or on
idea.
drugs?
That's a hell of a question as well. Here's the other thing. See if Marco. I want to talk to Lazara for the criminal aspect of this because this guy's up against charges for a DUI and he says he didn't do anything. It's crazy. But then the other thing is personal injury. This guy might have lost his job. He said it was his first day working at the chicken place as a contractor. I just don't get this. Let's line up those attorneys. You hang tight, Alan. I want to get to the bottom of this story. It's crazy. And once again, if you go to our YouTube, type in Troubleshooter Network on YouTube, put his pictures back up. It's evident he bit the hell out of his tongue. Something happened. I don't care how drunk you are. You don't chew your tongue like a piece of gum. All right. Where'd you want me to go on this?
Rock is holding for the mold smell question.
Oh, this
from
is a
last
curious
hour.
one. So Rock's listening. Dave, I brought you back up. You called last hour. It's been raining like hell. If I recall, your house was built in 1906, and it's an older house. With all the rain, all of a sudden you smell mold. Even though the rain has somewhat stopped, you're still smelling that moldy kind of air in your house, right?
Right. I first started smelling it about 2 months ago, and it's gradually been getting stronger and stronger, but I can't pinpoint where it's coming from.
So, Rock, a couple things, man. Oh, I'm sorry, Suzanne, call him back. I didn't lock him in. But, Rock, a couple things. If someone smells mold, does mold actually have a smell? I have smelled when it's very wet around our house, the grass and everything, and I guess I would describe it as a moldy smell, but is that what they're smelling is mold, or is it more of just that water?
Both.
Both.
You know, there's waterborne types of mold. As the wetness persists, different molds come about. More water, after a certain number of hours, certain molds are more persistent. The waterborne molds, which are actually more dangerous. So an elevated humidity, which is rare for us, can be kind of an indication. But
you mean just the humidity in the house, literally?
Right. If it's normally dry.
Yeah, of course.
If we've walked into places that have had water damage. And, it's almost like you're stepping into Florida, and people just don't realize. And, we have to do a test, and then the test shows high counts. And then sometimes we have to keep ripping it until we find it, until it stops.
So you got to kind of look for it. How about is one of the tools of the trade? He can't find where it's coming from. He's looked around. The carpet seems dry. It's an older house. He says he's got a French drain and then he's got a sump pump. Everything seems to be working. I guess one of the tools of the trade would be like a moisture meter. You might walk around and point it at all the walls and see if there's anything in there. If you were to go out to his place or any place and you smell it, how do you find the origin?
You'd have to do a couple different air tests and see where the variability is. If it's higher, if you have no clue and everything seems dry, you would do, I would definitely say that, there's some definite indicators. So where the French drain is, that's the more susceptible place. Where the sump pump is, that's where you start, and then you would work back from there.
Hey, Rock, can you use a moisture meter?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yes, you can use a moisture meter, but that may not be the source of where it's coming from. you need to kind of find your source, and usually where the counts are the highest is that's where you want to do your initial investigation, or where you want to start removing.
Now, how
material.
do you, as a company, American Restoration, if someone calls you like this, and I'm going to bring Dave back up, I mean, in all honesty, to come out and see if there is mold, what's the real cost of that, Rock, on average?
Well, just something like that. We'd use the meter, and then we would.
I'm sorry, I had to put him on hold. That was horrible feedback. Dave, I'll come to you in a second. Go ahead, Rock.
We would do an air. We would use the meter, and we would do an air test. And a lot of times, given the situation, if where the water is, or just where the situation we had, it's very, very obvious. If it's to the touch, moist to the touch, you're at least at 25% moisture content.
Yeah.
25% of 100, and then so it's pretty obvious. So there's given our situation, there's a lot of obvious things that are just really, really, really kind of obvious.
Yeah, but I come back to pricing. So to have someone come out and look for mold in their house, make sure they're not breathing in some kind of black mold or some form of mold spores. I mean, how much typically does that run? I'm not talking about getting rid of it. I'm talking just to figure out if it's there.
We're probably in the the $300 to $500 range just for air testing.
Got it. So, Dave, do you have any questions for our expert, Rock? He's with American Restoration on a referral list at referrallist.com.
Yes, sir. How do I schedule that testing?
Give us a call offline here, and we can schedule it and we can get it done.
Hey, and Dave, check back in with us, man. I want to know what he finds out.
Yeah, I would love to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, I'm interested too, man. And for anybody else out there, it's one of these. The phone number is 8337-AMREST, but it's one of those numbers you really put it in your phone, because if you wake up and you've got smoke damage because of a fire, or if you have water in the basement, all of a sudden any kind of flooding, or you find out one of your rentals, they were making meth. These are the guys that can do it all, and they're honest as the day's long. That's what I love about them. There are so many crooks in the restoration business. That's why we like Rock and the guys. 8337-AMREST. Hey, Rock, are you catching up with all the flooding that we've had because of the rain? Are you guys finally catching up a little, or what?
We're finally catching up, just the whole process, getting the rebuild back. We're finally catching up. It's nothing, it's nothing real fast. Once you get the first stage done, and then there's a second stage in dealing with the insurance companies.
Hey, have you ever, side note, have you ever showed up and it's a total hoarder house, man? I have gone out on cases where I have walked in and it's unbelievable. But if you threw flood water in, or if you threw some kind of fire damage, I think it would be so unsafe. But have you ever walked into one of these hoarders' homes?
Oh, indeed. And that elevates, that doesn't mean that it's not covered by the insurance company, or just say, for instance, if you have a garden, or an indoor garden,
yep,
or like an indoor greenhouse,
atrium,
those chemicals, once they hit the ground, or once they hit your drywall, it escalates the severity of the loss. Yes. And so just, there's natural factors, oils and paints and things of that nature can escalate the severity of the loss.
I got it, man.
Those kind of things.
I love it. Write that number down, everybody listening, 8337-AMREST, 8337-AMREST, or amrest247.com. Alan, we're trying to get a couple of attorneys up. I can't believe it. Brighton Police Department, according to him, he had a seizure. They thought he was drunk. Not only did they bring him to the station, they ended up booking him into county for 3 days. His sister had to bail him out on bond. We're trying to figure out, we're taking him at his word. There was nothing in his system. What do you do? What do you do? You know what, Suzanne? If we can't get Marco, maybe John Fuller can at least chime in on this.
Marco's available in a few.
That's great. I want to hear what Marco's got to say about it. We talk about immunity, municipalities and cities and everybody with immunity. But my God, what happens when you lock someone up that shouldn't have been locked up? I wonder if this guy's got a case.
about on the show today?
There was some hullabaloo about cops in Loveland doing that, arresting people who had zero.
I love it. Hang tight just a minute. Thank you for your time.
I wonder why.
They wanted to increase their DUI arrests to get more money from the federal government. I know that's what happened in Loveland.
Fuller, Fixit, and Frank. Man, look at Maui. Holy moly. Maui is on fire.
Oh, my God, Mark. They were
Can you imagine showing up there on vacation and you're where do they even evacuate?
The top of the
Look
volcano.
at that.
That's
That looks like
crazy.
something from California or Colorado.
Oh, my God, look at that. Glad we haven't booked our
Frank
trip
Duran,
yet.
the real estate man,
Is it
how
the
I love
hurricane
thee.
or the
Frank got us so
storm
much money for our house in Castle Rock when we sold
That was
it.
a
He
hurricane
got a
making it
genuine
worse, the
bidding war
winds.
going.
Yeah,
and we had numerous offers to choose from right after he
terrible.
listed it. About 3 days later.
I've been to
We got
Maui
more than
once,
we
loved it.
expected.
You
I
ever
couldn't
been
be
to
happier.
Hawaii?
Then he negotiated our house in Franktown, just like the best
Hanai is
negotiator in the
basically
world,
gone.
like that OJ attorney.
Get the
I mean,
fuck outta
what's that
here.
guy's name? But that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. He is the best I have ever seen in the real estate business. You want the best, you call Frank Duran. In fact, did you know this? Frank Duran sells more homes in 1 month for more money than most realtors sell in a year and a half. Go check it out on MLS.
Oh, my God.
Other people brag about being the best. No. Don't fall for the crap. Frank Duran's the best. FrankDuranHomes.com. FrankDuranHomes.com. John Fuller,
No,
Fuller Law,
Lanai is what I'm
personal
thinking of.
injury attorney. We have
Lanai is
used,
a town,
unfortunately,
okay.
and what I
Oh,
mean
my
by that is we were in 2 bad accidents. One, Suzanne and myself got hit on the side. Lady ran a red light, destroyed our car, every airbag. Suzanne had a broken nose. She had some back issues. It was horrible. It's a scary time. You need someone that you can talk to about the case when you get home from the ER or when you get home from the hospital. That was John Fuller. I didn't even hesitate. I called John up, and he tells you a lot of good stuff right off the bat, like, listen, the other insurance company is going to be calling you. Make sure you don't talk to them. He tells you all the in and outs of the business so you understand your case and you understand how to maximize and get every nickel you should be getting for that case. That is the kind of care he gives to every single client. In fact, it was so good when our daughter got into an accident about a year later, rear-ended, car totaled on I-25. We called up John again. I can't stress this enough. You're going to deal with John. You're going to get his cell phone number. You're not going to be just a little cog in this huge wheel. You're going to be the guy. You are going to be the girl that's dealing with him. 303-597-4500. My accident lawyer can be your accident lawyer at myaccidentlawyer.co. Check him out, myaccidentlawyer.co. Fix it 24/7. You're not going to get better than this. $39. You can get a certified technician, insured, and everything else out to figure out what's going on with either your plumbing, your heating, cooling, or electric. $39 to get a tech out there. You can't beat that. $39 to figure out what's going on for that estimate. I love Fix It 24/7. FixMyHome.com is our website, or 720-526-3939. You got to check these guys out. 720-526-3939.
Mark.
Yeah.
Remember where we used to go, like, for that Maui brewing when we would leave our hotel? It was like 15 minutes away.
Oh, yeah.
That whole town's basically gone.
I know. I'm watching it.
That's crazy.
That's where we got on the catamaran.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, it's absolutely
Oh,
crazy.
so sad.
And if you really think
And
about
the
it,
Kohala Brewery.
until you get to the airport, I mean, that's it. That's
Yeah.
the town.
Right. Oh, my God.
That's just going to be devastating to their economy this time of year. It's going to be devastating.
Okay, Stephanie said, just spoke with his surgeon. It went perfect.
Nice.
Travel insurance.
Say that again, Brad.
Good argument for travel insurance.
Oh, that is a good argument for travel insurance. Well, you know that hotel you are going to stay at? So there we were.
The rain in the hurricane didn't put out the fires.
The hurricane's 500 miles away. It's the winds. It's nothing but the winds whipping around.
Okay.
Just like here in Boulder when it just went boom. We were on an airplane leaving DIA going over the mountains that day.
Oh, wow.
It was the most extreme turbulence I have ever. Everybody on the plane shut up. There wasn't, including the I was going to say stewardesses. There wasn't one person saying everything. That plane was like this. And I'm looking out the window, and you just go, how these wings don't snap off is a miracle.
Mark. Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Line 3 is a retired firefighter and has a comment on Alan with the seizures.
Got it.
Okay?
I mean, you're crazy not to.
So we were in Maui. Oh, my God. Thank God we're only going to be there
Alan,
2 more
we
days.
have a comment on your call, and our attorney will be available in
So,
about 5 more minutes, okay?
We're on this catamaran
Hang on.
going over to this little island. And we're going to explore this little island. I forget what it's called.
Lanai.
So we're on Maui going over to Lanai. We had a great time. I jump off the catamaran. It was a snorkeling thing, too. Forgot to take my glasses off. Glasses go, whatever, 50 feet down. They're
It's a
gone.
freaking
And
nightmare.
I did not have a
Basically
spare
ruined the
pair.
rest of our trip.
And within 2 days, I'd never get my prescription anywhere.
Yeah. It was crazy, wasn't it?
Oh, my God, I went mental.
I know you did. I was crazy. You were mental.
It was so mental. I couldn't see. I couldn't drive.
Effed up our trip.
I felt like
Even drinking
Todd.
was no fun.
Extra blurry. With my
I drank very heavily after that.
my car keys and condo keys when we went to
Line 3.
I forget which
All right, we're
island
going
it
back
was.
up. All right, 303-713-8255. Alan's got a big issue. Actually, Mike's got a comment on it. Alan, I'm going to tell you real quick. We have got Marco Bendinelli, an attorney coming up for the personal injury side of this, meaning I assume you lost your job, or at least you lost time off and some other things. So we're going to be talking to him. So hold tight, and I'm still trying to get Joseph A. Lazare. He could be in court right now saving someone's ass. Meantime, Mike's got a comment on Alan. Mike, what relevance do you bring to this?
Hi, Mark. So I spent 15 years in the fire and EMS service, retired as a lieutenant, and I can tell you that his situation is not uncommon. You don't hear about it very often, but it is not uncommon. His situation, single vehicle accident, minor accident, or swerving in the road, something like that, fire department's not going to get called. EMS is not going to get called. Law enforcement are going to be first on scene.
Yep.
And a lot of times we've been out and we've been called out to respond to assist law enforcement on a drunk driver.
And they're not.
It is unresponsive, and they're not. We'll get there. The officer will say, hey, can you check this guy out? He is wasted, or she is wasted. She is badly drunk. We'll go up and check them out and find out that, A, either they're having a diabetic emergency, and we can tell that immediately with checking their blood sugar, blood glucose, or they're possibly having a post-ictal from a seizure. Now, the problem is the law enforcement agency transported him to the jail when he was obviously in altered mental status.
Definitely, according to him.
Which is a medical emergency. EMS, fire should have been called to transport him. Now, the patients that we've had in Alan's situation where they were post-ictal, we will transport them to the hospital. Law enforcement will be following us, and 9 times out of 10, they would come out of that post-ictal state while being transported to the hospital.
You know what's curious, Mike? Mike, I bet, and tell me tell me what you think. I mean, we're just going to come up with a number. But in this scenario where someone is just on the side of the road, a one-car accident, appears to be drunk or intoxicated on drugs, whatever, I bet 9 out of 10 or 95 out of 100, they are either drunk or on drugs. I mean, how often does this actually happen?
I bet you're right. I bet most of the time they are.
My point being, the police just have this perception, oh, they're cracked out or whatever it is.
Right. They have the perception, but most law enforcement agencies also have a standard operating procedure which says that that person is of altered mental status and EMS
Let me
needs
pull
to
up
be
my
called
Monday.
because
Yeah,
there's
that'd be
possibly a
perfect.
medical
Then that gives
emergency.
us plenty of time to
Right? It doesn't have the
get you
standard
some
operating
advice here. Hang
procedure,
on just a second.
or
Monday
the
the
officers
14th.
didn't follow it.
Well, and we're going to learn that,
you,
Mike. I
Monday.
appreciate all that, and thanks for your service, by the way. That's
can I
a
do
tough
10
job.
a.m.
You know, you
Monday?
think about it. It's one thing to say, hey, I want to be a firefighter. It's
was
another
planning
thing
on
to
it, and it's
literally
actually
run
my,
into a
call
burning
screener will
building.
be calling you
It's
for me.
crazy, or get the jaws of
your
life
phone
out.
number,
Anyhow,
darling?
I appreciate that. Alan, we're going to get Marco Bendinelli on. We're going to figure out where to go, if there's anywhere to go for damages. And we're also going to figure out if Brighton really screwed up, what's going on there. So you guys hold tight.
Well, generally, just depending on your issue, which will be all for the host, you come on our live radio show.
I think
you
most
tell the
cops
host about the
are
issues.
guys who
Generally,
played
with the
football in high
divorce
school
issue, they will
with
have
a
us get our
subnormal
divorce
IQ,
attorney experts
can't
on for
find
the
another
call,
job and just wanna be
and have
boys.
them advise and chime in to give you some ideas on how to move forward.
I know some cops
in
that are pretty
solving your
good. They
problem.
went.
That's basically
They were
how
like
it goes when there's a
contractors
problem
and were
with an
done
attorney.
doing it.
If they found it really egregious, they might try to reach out to the attorney, but just being a divorce situation, that's generally not the
they
case.
get no secondary
But
benefits.
we will
for
have
being a
attorneys
firefighter.
on to listen in on your
But you
call
get
to figure
secondary
out the
benefits
best
for
way
being
to
a cop.
advise and help you. Does that sound good? Well, and they can, and shady to you, but with just to try to be non-biased on the show, we would have our attorneys on to tell us.
We talk about Euro Plumbing and their deal on 40-gallon and 50-gallon water heaters, fully installed, 6-year plus
Bridget,
warranty.
that's how we generally
$1,299. You're not going to
Does
get a
that
better
work?
deal than that, and it's all brand name stuff.
Plan on
Remail
us calling you
Smith,
at
but
10
they
a.m.
also
on
sell
Monday.
all
Let me
kinds
just
of stuff. When they
verify
came out to our house, we wanted a very
712-272-7311.
fast recovery, high efficiency water
we will
heater,
talk to you then.
and
In
they
the
fit the bill.
meantime, rest
And
easy.
on top of that, they saved us thousands of dollars
Have a nice day.
compared to
Bye-bye.
the competition.
Troubleshooter Show. What is your
If you're
first
looking
name?
for a water heater, you got to call these guys. Their pricing is
Patrick, and it's Sir Les. What would you like to talk to Mark about on the show today,
303-668-6844. I promise you're going to love them. The best prices anywhere, guaranteed. You don't pay anything till the job's done and you're happy. 303-668-6844. Now, we talked to Rock with American Restoration
You live in
in
a
the
county
last
with no
segment.
emissions,
If
but
you're
you
a
may sell
landlord,
it to
there's a few
someone who
things you
is
never
in a
want to
county
hear
with
that Rock can help you out with. Fire, flood,
Perfect.
broken
Okay.
pipes, frozen pipes,
tried- okay.
mold,
Hang tight a minute. You got a
unattended
couple
death.
calls ahead of you, all right,
Someone
man?
dies in one of your units. How about a meth lab? Someone turned your duplex into a meth lab. Or how
Good.
about
Okay, top of the
asbestos?
hour.
You know, you go to bring a contractor
Noel,
in
I
and they
think we're gonna
screw up
start
and
your
cut through
call,
that
while
ceiling,
we're
that
waiting on
popcorn
this attorney
ceiling,
for the
and
other
all of
one.
a sudden
Just
you
give
have
us a minute,
asbestos
okay?
everywhere. These guys have all the EPA certifications for asbestos. They can get rid of anything going on in your house that shouldn't
Watch it
be
make
there.
a liar of me. I'm
And they're
doing my best
honest
here.
as
Hang
the
on,
day
hon.
is long. I love Rock and the gang at American Restoration. If you need them, you're not going to know it till you need them. These are generally disastrous situations. You're not thinking straight. You wake up and you get out of bed and there's water all over the place. You got to know who to call. Please put this phone number in your phone, 833-7AM-REST. 833-7AM-REST, 833-7AM-REST.
Dragon just sitting there like a princess.
So, Mark, we were snorkeling one time. I forget which island it was. And I dropped the keys to the rental car and to the condo somewhere on the reef.
Yeah, we're not gonna have
And we're out in the middle of nowhere.
What's that?
So we're not gonna have too much time when we come back. We have like
And
2
luckily,
minutes.
just as the sun was
Hey,
setting,
alrighty.
an Australian couple came by.
And had them?
How many minutes
No,
do we have
no,
till we're
we
back?
never found the keys. So they were
we
able
still
to
have 3
drive
minutes.
us
Okay.
to the rental place
Hold
and
on a
get
sec.
spares.
This Mark, tell me I'm on the list. Oh, cool. When are you guys going to be out? I am on the air right now. I'm going to put my wife on, okay, and she'll give you that. Hold on.
Okay, who is this?
Douglas County Septic.
Oh, what, do you need to give a credit card?
No, I got to get on their list. Like, get me on the list.
Okay, real quick. We only have 2 minutes when we come back. I'm calling Marco Bendinelli at the top of the hour for Alan.
Okay.
She's been holding since noon. I don't know if you want to start her call.
Okay.
His question is about selling a car when he's in a county with no emissions, selling it to someone who might be, and he wants to sell it as is.
All right.
All right. Hi, this is Suzanne. How can I help you?
Back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you.
I had to get on a list for septic. The septic company is out where I'm at.
Inspection?
No. Just pumping. Yeah, every 4 years we get a pump. They are so busy, I literally had to get on a list. So when they called, it's like, I don't care. Get me on the list. So I called them like a month ago, and they're like, well, it's something we've never had this issue
Pump
before.
goes out every 4 years?
Yeah, you don't have to I could probably get away with 4.5. We got a pretty huge system.
The motor goes out?
No. You got to literally pump the waste.
Oh, I get you. Oh, yeah. I get you. Okay.
Mark, where was that?
Even though my shit don't stink, it's still there.
Where was that DMV you were talking about that's empty?
Oh, it's Douglas. I don't know if that matters, but it's right over by Super Target. So it is
by Arapahoe and I-25?
I-25 and not Arapahoe, I-25 and Lincoln.
Oh, Lincoln.
Yep.
It's way west.
Yeah, I walked in there the other day to get a title. No one in there. Literally walked up to a person and left there in 5 minutes with a reprinted title. So we used to have these pumpers I really liked, and I don't know what happened to them. They just disappeared off the face of the planet. I always said it's a real shitty business.
I like how they put puns in their trucks.
Yeah.
In their names.
I saw one today, an electric company. It said it used wire. Wait, wire? God, now I can't think of what it said. I saw another electrician that said, and the Lord will give you light, something with light in the Bible. I forget. That was pretty good. But the one this morning was, God, it was like, why call us? But it was wire, but that's not it.
Why are you?
Coming back. I always liked this guy's voice. I like Joe Pag's voice. All right, Paul the Waterman. By the way, you want the best for less, you call up Paul. These other companies sell water systems, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. In fact, there's one out there called the Halo. It doesn't even soften water, but it's like 10 grand. You call up Paul, man. You can get a whole house system for less. You ready for this? For less than $2,000. I mean, that saves you so much. It's crazy. He stands by the product. You get the best systems out there. And then check this out. You can get point of view systems to get rid of all those forever chemicals out of your tap water for less than $1,000. They're all licensed plumbers. They do free water tests. They'll come out, check your water for free. None of those, old school high pressure tactics. They're the real deal. Check them out. Paul the Waterman, 303-862. 5554 303-862 5554. Now, we've got a lot going on next hour. We're going to have Marco Bendinelli. He's going to come on and talk about Alan's predicament. This poor guy, man, we're going to put those pictures back up again. If you go to YouTube and then type in Troubleshooter Network, you'll see the pictures of his tongue. This guy had a seizure. He ends up in a one-car accident up on the medium. And basically the cops show up. They think he's drunk. Now, we're taking him at his word, but we're going to find out. And then Patrick's got a question on selling a car. Patrick, I promise we'll get to that. And then, Noel, I know you've been holding the longest with Comcast. The good news is this, Noel. We get great results when it comes to problem with Comcast. We've got some angels over there, people we love. 303 Martino, help at troubleshooter.com. We'll be back in a minute.
In today's Marketers Report, Kate Cronin, Chief Brand Officer of Moderna, weighs in on the speed of audio.
720. 370.
These are the questions I answered. So
Go ahead.
3788.
Go ahead, babe.
these are the questions I answered. I hope I got it right. She said, "Are your septic lids exposed above ground?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Can a truck get down there to pump them?" I said, or can you do it from the driveway? So you have to drive down the hill a little bit. I think our gate is wide enough for the truck. If
Absolutely.
not, and she goes, "They're like cement truck sizes." I said, "I think so, but Mark will call you this afternoon. You're on the schedule for August 29th. It was 450 something with a $20 fuel charge. It was going to be 480. And I text. She said they'll call the day before to say if they're your morning or afternoon.
I'm sorry, I gave it to you wrong. Not 3788, but 7388.
720-370-7388.
Right.
I'll hit you hard when you get back.
Obviously, don't call yourself a lot because you had to think about it.
Well, this is the tracking number just on a website. It's not my actual number.
I'll tell you who goes overboard on that. I truly believe it is Plumline. Plumline has a different phone number for everything they do. Everything.
Didn't change it.
There.
Okay.
They have one like for our referral list, one for our live commercials, one when they're in studio, one for Fox 31 television, one for 9, one for 7, one for 4, one for print, and if they have multiple print, multiple.
I'm trying to track how
only
profitable each one is.
The only problem with that is it's also nice that repetition of always having that same number.
Yeah.
Like Fix It is whatever 3939. So they always are given the same number.
Mm-hmm.
It's always pounding. You hope it kind of sticks in their head. Yeah. But really nowadays we're not even doing. I mean, attorneys all do phone numbers, but generally speaking, it's websites, man. Yeah. Websites are what sticks in the car.
For line 4.
I got to get Marco in here for a show.
COLawfirm.com.
He is done. He had the first time, he had 3 $2 million verdicts in a 3-month period, first in Colorado. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. One of them was pretty interesting. This guy rented it was either a Ryder or a U-Haul. And you know how they have those pull-out ramps so you can go up them with your dolly? Mm-hmm. When it pulled out, the 2 levers that come down so the whole thing doesn't pull out broke. So this big metal ramp comes out and pins this guy down. They wanted to settle for like $125,000, and he was pretty close to taking that, but he decided he'd call around, and he ended up talking to Marco. Mm-hmm. Marco got him 2.5, and that was like real money. In other words, he ended up getting 2.5, and that was one of the 3.
You mean Marco's cut was 2.5?
No.
Oh, the whole judgment was 2.5.
The whole, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
No, Marco, God, that'd be crazy.
You can probably get 40%.
Although Dan Kaplis had one that was really high like that, probably more than that.
Who was that truck? That
truck one.
Yeah.
He's representing. Did you hear about that? I don't even know. It's not a roller coaster. It's a ride that kind of drops down.
Hey, Marco,
where the kid
it's
fell
Suzanne
off.
Major.
Yeah, where
How
the
are
kid
you?
died. He's representing that. Where was that? Glenwood.
Not a lot of. Did you have a
Yeah.
good time in the Caymans?
Well, he does a lot of big cases.
I'm glad to hear it. Hey,
I think he's
you got
doing
Marc
the school,
Mager today. We just
stem
got a
cell
call. A
shooters.
guy who was arrested and put in jail
So my
for a
daughter
few days.
works
He
for
had a
him.
grant.
She's
He
going
had
to
a
law school in
seizure,
Wyoming, but,
and he's being charged with a DUI.
she's
But
been
it
doing
was the first day
intake,
on the job. He
and
lost his
that
job.
cop called,
so
if you
Mark
saw
just
it on the
wants
news
to
the other
powwow
day,
with you about the whole thing.
He had to jump 30 feet
You
off
got
a
it? Okay.
bridge. So that was an
Thank
intake.
you for your time. We're coming back in just a couple minutes.
Because a car
and then,
was
oh my
barreling
gosh,
at
we
him.
didn't know Julian
Some driver
went to
wasn't paying
Wyo for law
attention to
school.
it.
We found
He
that
was
out
parked
through our
over on
daughter.
the
They
side.
connected through LinkedIn.
Would have killed him. He got
That
pretty
is so
messed
cool.
up, man. 30 feet's a long jump.
Oh shit.
Yep, I'm sure she's going to be doing that.
know what?
Yeah.
An attorney
So
named
I know
Scott
she's
Sullivan?
talked to Julian. I think they're going to get together.
You know a guy named Scott Sullivan?
No.
All right, hang tight a minute.
He
Hang
does a
on.
lot of construction work with
Bad construction?
yeah.
Yeah.
He got us over $400,000.
Hey, Mark.
Wow. How'd you even get into real estate, Brad? Why
I
real
was a
estate?
lawyer. I was in the commercial real estate finance.
Oh, okay.
Doing commercial mortgages.
Purely background.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, babe.
I've got Marco Bendinelli on for you.
Marco.
Okay. Our attorney's on, so
Marco.
you're coming back.
Are you not retired yet? My God, man.
Marco's like the coolest cat on earth.
I'll give you 5 minutes. Absolutely.
That's cool. Marco, you making too much money to retire?
On hold? Yeah, she's working for Capless right now. Yeah. Yeah. She might be interested. It's just. Yeah. Hold tight, man. Hold on, all right? 5 minutes is fine, bro. Hold on. I got to get you down here. We need to do a show together soon. Hold on. You ever heard Bell and Pollock do their show?
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it forever and a day, but way back when, 15 years ago, they would do like 15 or 20 minutes on the Constitution, constitutional law. And I always found that fascinating. I don't know if they do that anymore or if it's just all self-promotion the whole time.
I haven't heard their show. I've only heard their ads.
I used to really enjoy that constitutional part.
Why don't you go to law school and become a constitutional lawyer? You don't need the money.
Miss that. Dude, I couldn't. I got my GED at 15, bro. I couldn't sit still in a New Jersey classroom.
But you're older now. You're more sedentary.
It's everything I have in me to sit here for 4 hours.
Shayna.
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. Our goal in life is to make your life just a little bit better. If you're new to the show, we use the power of the media to go after the people that are making your life miserable. That's probably the best way to put it. You can hire an attorney, but you're usually not going to hire an attorney for $300 or $400 from some contractor that screwed you, or a landlord that won't return your security deposit. Speaking of which, we have Brad O'Brien. He's a real estate attorney in studio. Any real estate questions you have, he's on our referralist.com, and he's one of our experts, along with all of our other experts that help you help yourself. Any questions you have, you want to expose a corrupt contractor,
got it. I just wanted to
a
be
malicious merchant, I like that. A sleazy
storekeeper.
A sleazy storekeeper, good one, Doc. You get the idea. 303 Martino, 303 Martino. That number works all the time. Tell your neighbors. 303 Martino. Now, we're going to get Marco Bendinelli on. He's going to be all set up, ready to go in less than 5 minutes. Suzanne, I talked to him during the break. He's getting in his car, getting his Bluetooth set up, so when he's ready, we're going to do that. But Alan called in, so Alan had a very interesting episode.
What's
very
the year,
interesting.
Make, and model of the vehicle?
He basically had a seizure while driving. A one-car accident, ended up on the medium. A passerby calls 911. Cops come out. They think he's drunk, think he's loaded, think he's on drugs. They end up taking him in. They end up doing a blood test. My assumption is everything came back negative, according to Alan. This was all caused by the seizure. After you have a seizure, there's a state. What's it called, Doc?
Post-ictal.
Post what?
Ictal. I-C-T-A-L.
Post-ictal.
Ictal.
Ictal. Post-ictal, where you can appear drunk, you can appear high, you can appear in different ways. You're just not all there.
He's basically dazed and confused.
Yeah, he is, except it's not from drugs.
Right.
It's from the actual seizure. So after he spends 6 hours in the Brighton Police Department, they ship him over to county for 3 days. Remember, this all is coming back to the assumption that he's drunk, drinking and driving. So we're going to have Marco Bendinelli on the personal injury side. Then we're going to try to get our criminal defense attorney. Actually, Marco might be able to answer that as well. But Brad O'Brien is in studio, as I said before. Any kind of real estate questions you have, we want to hear from him. But real quick, Noel, as Marco's getting ready, what's going on with Comcast?
No cussing.
Hi,
Noelle.
yeah, Comcast
She
sent
cussed in
someone
her
out about
emails.
2 weeks ago
I told
to
her
check
no
the
cussing.
signal
She
on
cussed
my
in her
living room
email, so she makes
TV.
me a little nervous.
I had some horizontal lines going across it.
Hey, Noel, I've got a
Also
few
the-
questions just based upon what you just said. When you say check your TV for signal, does your television connect to your Wi-Fi? What do you mean by check it for signal?
I had some horizontal lines in the picture, so I have a box. It wasn't a 4K box, but I do have a smart TV.
Okay.
But
But your
I had called,
your Comcast box is connected right to that TV, right? Your cable box.
Correct.
Okay, and you started getting bad signal. I understand. Keep going.
Okay. So they finally sent someone out to the house. I believe they were contractors of Comcast because they didn't have the official.
Yeah, most of them
ban
are.
Yeah, all that. So they messed around with the living room TV and the box. He didn't seem to know what he was doing. He's looking all over the house for some other box, outside, inside. So finally he said, I'll replace your box with a 4K box since you have a smart TV. But he did not ask what kind of TV I had upstairs.
Well, who cares what kind of
Related in
TV?
some way, but-
Wait.
Well, it's a living room box controls both.
Oh, I see. You split it so you didn't have to pay for two boxes.
No, I had a separate smaller box up there, but they always say reset the living room box for both TVs.
I don't understand that. What do you mean? Can you watch two different channels or not?
Yeah, yes, I can.
So what? I don't understand what your living room television has to do with the bedroom television at all.
There's an auxiliary box they give you to put on the second TV.
Right.
Okay. So you're saying the secondary box now does not work because it's 4K and your TV's not 4K?
Well, the new box he replaced on the TV is 4K
Got it.
for the smart TV in the living room.
Got it.
So then
And
he was
that's
trying to
working,
hook
right,
that
Noel?
up.
That's a good question, Doc. That's working, right?
Both TVs are gone after their visits.
What do you mean? Now neither TV works?
That's correct.
Wait a
That's
second,
my whole
Noel.
issue.
So you call Comcast out, and these guys should be begging to keep whatever customers they have left, but you call Comcast out,
Exactly.
and they come out to fix it, and you got some squiggly lines, and he puts in a new box. Did it work for a little bit, then stop working, or did he leave and it didn't work?
It was okay when he left.
Okay.
Also, he was messing around with the stereo.
But it was
receiver
okay
with
when
the-
he left. But then when it was okay, did both televisions work?
I thought the downstairs TV was turned off and went upstairs and turned the upstairs TV on the day after they came.
Yeah.
And within about a half hour, the upstairs TV went black and it was gone.
So right now,
So-
even if you reboot the boxes, neither TV is getting television.
Right. Even if I forget the box.
So when you call them
turn
up
on
now
you
and tell
cannot
them
turn
this,
on
what
the
are they
TV.
telling you?
They sent out a couple of managers. When they got here, they had no idea what the problem was. I mean, they had no background on the issue.
How long has
and
this been
then
going
finally-
on?
2 weeks.
Well, okay. Well, what are they telling you? I mean, what are they saying?
I emailed Tom Karnashik. I think he's the VP of Client Experience at Comcast. So they assigned a specialist.
God bless
to it.
his soul. Geez, I'd hate to have that job, but keep going.
Exactly. And so the specialist said, we'll investigate. That's when they sent these other clowns out to...
And they
the
couldn't figure it out?
No. So-
Suzanne, would you email Thomas for us? Now, listen, Thomas is in a different place on this. He is more on the internet side, but he's going to be able to cut through this crap and get this woman's stuff working. I mean, Nicole or Noel, they're not telling you you need any other equipment. In other words, they just simply have no idea how to fix it.
No, the TVs are gone. They're broken.
What do you mean
I
they're...
had a Best Buy manager come out to look at the downstairs TV, and he said, that's shot. It's gone.
Noel,
Same
hold
with
on.
upstairs.
Hold on. So this whole time, the problem wasn't Comcast, it's the TVs.
No, the TVs broke after they left. Both of them.
So you think the Comcast workers broke your TVs.
Absolutely.
And how would they have done that? Just give me one.
I have no idea.
Well,
one, they were messing around with the stereo.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a connection, but it's all hooked up together. Two, they didn't unplug anything when they were messing with the HDMI ports. So I don't know. Maybe it blew a fuse. I have no idea. They're all connected to that box.
But Best Buy said, what's wrong with the TVs? They're just dead?
Yeah, dead. Dead as a doornail.
Well, I don't think, Noelle, I don't think they could have done anything. If they physically picked up and moved the TV or somehow, I can't imagine what they could have done to ruin two of your televisions. I mean, it's a hell of a coincidence, though. I get that. But, I mean, I can't imagine anything they could have done. How do you know Best Buy isn't blowing smoke up your ass and your TVs actually do work? Do you have your TVs?
They don't work. You can't turn them on.
Do you have them?
Absolutely.
You know what? I wonder, hey, Suzanne, do you think ITED could possibly do us a favor and check out this?
How old were the TVs?
Yeah, how old are they?
The living room TV is 3 years old. The upstairs TV might be 10 years old.
Okay, so
10 years, Mark?
Yeah, well, 10 years I don't care about. But listen, if you plug in another TV to either of them right now, have you done it? Have you bought another TV to see if it works?
Yeah, I bought another TV and sent the receipts for him to Comcast. And
Does it
works
work?
just fine. Yes, and I took the box that they put in the day they came to the store in Park Meadows, and I took a picture of the bottom of it for the serial number. And
Noelle, I'm going to tell you what to do. Your hope of getting reimbursed is going to be this. First of all, a 10-year-old TV has zero value. So even if they did break it, I mean, they might owe you $5, arguably. I mean, really, there's zero value. The 3-year-old TV, you know, you could almost argue replacement's fine. So I'm not sure which one you want to go after, but I would choose one. And the only thing that's going to happen here is going to be small claims court. And I'm going to tell you why you're going to win. How much was the replacement? 300, 400? How much?
For two TVs?
Yeah, how much?
This is a 65-inch TV. It's $1,600 in the living room.
Is that
and
what broke?
Upstairs it's probably $1,300.
Is that what
both of them broke?
I understand both of them broke. Did you replace them with the exact same sizes?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want $3,000. I don't see you getting $3,000 on any planet. I don't see it. I simply don't understand how. I don't understand how they could have broke them. If they actually showed up for small claims, I don't even know what your argument would be. They didn't remove them from the wall. You said they didn't even unplug them. I have no idea. I've never heard of an HDMI signal, like you said, causing the TV just to go out and never turn on again. I have never heard of anything like this. Your only hope, here's what I would say. You go after them for under $1,000 because I think that's where the threshold's going to be. The 10-year TV, like it or not, had zero value. I assume it worked and all that, but it doesn't even matter. It's that old. A 10-year-old TV is worth nothing. It was probably plasma for all we know. But the other one, arguably, you put down $1,000, $1,500 tops. You bring them to small claims court. I think they would settle just because they don't want to show up. I really think you would win for that reason and that reason only. I do not know, and if anybody out there does know, how any part of her story equals the Comcast people ruined her TV, I would love to hear it. I just can't imagine it. I can't. Brad O'Brien, attorney at law, not a legal opinion, but can you imagine how Comcast coming out to try to fix her picture would ruin two televisions?
I have not heard that connection.
I've never heard anything like that. Anybody in there? Anybody? I mean, is this happened? But the other side to it is the coincidence is uncanny. All right, we're going to have Marco Bendinelli coming up after this. Noelle, by the way, if you want some info, I can send you basic information. It's only $55 to take them. I'm telling you, their threshold's going to be $1,000, $1,500, and I think you will get paid on that. It's not worth their time to go to court upon any stretch at that number. That is that number right there. You go for $3,000, they might think about it. But if you want some information, not legal advice on how to go to small claims court, I can send you the paperwork from the state of Colorado.
Frank Duran, the real estate man, can list your home, and he proves to get more money and faster results. He also shines on the...
You asked for it.
Right. What doesn't Suze tell the
That
people
woman
online
was
too to call
difficult.
tomorrow?
What did he say? What did Ken say?
I'm going to ask her that.
Hold on. Harris Family Law. You know what I love about these guys? They have these webinars. You can think of any situation that's got to do with family law. Maybe adoption would be a good one. How about they call it a gray divorce? People over 55 getting a divorce. They even have an early neutral assessment, which can, let's say you haven't filed for divorce yet, and you've got 401ks, you have a job, you got children, you got pets, you got a house. You want to kind of figure out what it's going to look like if you do get divorced, who's going to get the kids. They can give you a good idea of what a divorce will look like after the fact. But Harris Family Law, they have over 25 employees, 25 years in Colorado doing family law, but these webinars are unbelievable. You name the topic when it comes to family law, you're going to see them. You can go to harrisfamilylaw.com/webinars. harrisfamilylaw.com/webinars, and you can see all the different webinars they do. They do them every Wednesday live, but they archive everything. So tonight they will have one. Absolutely, positively, you should check it out. Anything with family law, harrisfamilylaw.com/webinars. Now, Zero Res Denver, in fact, their website is zeroresdenver.com. High alkaline, super soft, purified water is probably what I would refer to as their secret. That is what cleans your carpets better than anything else I have ever ran into in my life. You want the carpets cleaned properly. You want those spots that you can't seem to get rid of to go away. You call up Zero Res Denver. They do carpet cleaning. They also do tile and grout. They do granite cleaning, mattress cleaning, upholstery cleaning. They can do your area rugs. And I love about this empowered water another thing. It dries fast. And you're not sitting around walking on that moist carpet for 12, 13 hours. When they leave, it's clean, and if those spots come back, everybody's had those carpet cleaners. They come out for a day or two, it looks great. Then that coffee stain or that wine stain seems to seep back up through the carpet, and you see it again. They'll come out and do it again. They're great guys. 303-471-5150, zeroresdenver.com. I think I am the only one that uses this mic that it constantly breaks.
You know why Suze is going to call tomorrow? Because today's Wednesday, not Thursday.
What do you mean?
I said, why don't you have the people online too call tomorrow when the guy... She said, well, tomorrow's only Thursday, not Friday. Oh, I lost track of the days.
Is Marco ready to go now?
Marco is ready to go, and that one that Ken suggested I call tomorrow. Kelly had lined up for 1 o'clock today, so I hope you can get to them.
I'll get to him.
And then that Noelle gal, man, she just felt combative, Mark. She felt difficult. The Comcast girl.
Yeah, I know.
She
It's
was trying to
ridiculous.
get a payday for a stupid TV. I did not want to help her.
Well,
after hearing her and
and
after seeing her string of emails to Comcast that were cussing and
how the story unfolded, I didn't like that either.
She was ridiculous.
She could have just jumped to the TVs are broke.
Troubleshooter Show, what is your first name? Yo, Phil, haven't heard from you in a while, man. You have a comment? We can try to get your comment. Are you talking about the Comcast call? Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't Comcast.
There's some kind of Bluetooth interference in here. It's
I don't think so.
My mouse stopped working for some reason.
Oh, that's weird.
No,
No, you need a battery for it?
No, it's fully charged up.
You got an adapter you can uncheck and replug?
Well, it's too bad she let Best Buy take them away and buy new ones. Now she can't even try that, sir.
You know what's funny is Susanna always uses her mouse with her laptop. I only use a touchpad,
call, Phil.
and it's
I'll
hard
let Mark
going
know.
back and forth.
I hate using touchpads.
Have a nice one.
She hates the touchpad.
My fine motor skills suck for that kind of mouse pad, the touch one. Ugh.
That's what Brad said. He said he's way faster with a mouse.
Yeah, I am too. And same with, I need a 10 key on my keypad. I can't use the numbers up top. You know what I'm saying? I've got to have a 10 key for numbers.
My first job, I was a checker at a grocery store, and it was all 10 key.
I do like a separate keypad.
Yep, instead of using the numbers up top, trying to like figure those out. Yeah. Okay, Marco in line 4. Yo.
All right, we got a big one here. 303-713-8255. 303-713 Martino. Or I'm sorry, 303 Martino. Don't forget 888heating.com. That AC's not up to snuff. It's been working hard. Call these guys up. They'll match any price out there. But what I really love about 888heating.com is they'll always give you the opportunity to fix it. They're not one of these places that comes out and says, oh, you need a new system. That'll be $25,000. They will tell you how much to actually fix it. They'll quote you on a new one if you want, but they're great, honest people. 888heating.com. Now, Marco Bendinelli. I'm going to bring Marco up. I've known Marco for years now. Marco, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Mark.
Hey, man, this one is so interesting. There's two different plot lines I want to follow on this. I'm taking the guy at his word 100%. But here's what happened, man. The guy has a seizure, kind of passes out driving, one car accident. He ends up on the medium. A passerby, remember, there's no other cars involved. Passerby calls 911. Police show up. The police thinks he's drunk, man. They think he's either on drugs or drunk. His tongue, and I put the pictures up of his tongue on our YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube, then type in Troubleshooter Network, you'll see our live feed. But it's evident he was chewing his own tongue. It's kind of disgusting. So he had this medical emergency. He passes out. The cops show up. They think he's drunk. They bring him over. I think it was the Brighton Police Department. They bring him over to the police department. They hold him there in the holding unit for about 6 hours. Then they transfer him over to county, where he stayed 3 days in county until his sister bailed him out. So let's say all the blood tests, they did do a blood test on him. Let's just say everything comes back 100% negative, and everything he said was true. I think this guy, hey, Alan, did you lose your job over this?
I have been in communication with the office, and they've been, the girl was speechless when I told her about this whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm no longer able to work on that project that I was on.
So you lost. You might have not lost your job, but you have lost work.
Exactly.
And you spent 3 days. Marco, do you guys over at Bendinelli, I know you do a ton of personal injury, but do you guys do criminal at all?
Yeah, we're a personal injury law firm. We have 8 lawyers that only do personal injury. But I got one guy that I can't fire because he's been with me 25 years.
And he does criminal.
Only does criminal. Yep.
And so I have a little bit of knowledge about this. I got a couple questions.
Go.
You said no other vehicle involved.
No. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There was no other vehicle involved, and I believe I was on private property. I was in a parking lot.
Just let him ask the question. So, no, nobody else, Marco.
Okay, all right. How old is he? How old are you? And what time of day was this?
I am 35 years old, and this was approximately 3:35 p.m.
And Marco, he swears up and down. I already went through this with him. Not a drop of alcohol, no drugs. He says the blood test is going to come back absolute zeros. I did want to ask you, though, Alan, when you went to the station, not to county, why didn't you take a breathalyzer? Did they not offer one or what?
You know, Tom, and again, this was a medical emergency, and I was pretty dazed and confused.
So you were still out of it?
I was.
All right, Marco, keep going.
They should have took me to the hospital.
All right. We got a medical history. We got medical records that show he's a diabetic.
Alan, do you have medical records that show you have seizures?
No, no. This
I thought
is
it was
not
a diabetic seizure.
No, I don't think. Was it a diabetic seizure, Alan? I didn't hear that part.
I don't know what caused it.
So you have no idea what caused Marco? He's going to have no medical records.
I never received.
Hold on, Alan. Keep going, Marco.
They got trouble if they got a negative blood test. They got trouble.
Well, let me ask you. I put him on hold, Marco. Let me ask you a few questions. Yeah. What is typical in this scenario? So a cop shows up, even if they think you're drunk. You don't do. I mean, this guy apparently was so out of it because of the seizure. They bring him there for 6 hours.
No smell of alcohol on his breath.
Well, yeah, apparently there's no smell. But typically, how does it work? I didn't realize if you get pulled over on a DUI or something that you end up in county for 3 days. I always thought you would call an attorney after they booked you in or call someone to come bail you out. I mean, how does he end up there for 3 days?
Well, no, first of all, no one bailed him out. But secondly, if he is incoherent at the scene, they would call an ambulance.
Yeah, an
and take him
EMT.
to the hospital. Now, but they would typically, you would think they would wait until the results of the blood test to charge him.
Or give him a breathalyzer.
Well, he said he was out of it, and maybe
couldn't
by the
do it.
time he was coherent at the hospital.
I just thought of a question. Hold on, Marco. I just thought of a question I want to ask him. Hey, Alan.
Okay.
Hey, Alan, tell the truth, man. When they pulled your license in your history, what was it? Do you have other DUIs in your past or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple priors, but...
Okay. No, wait. A couple prior what?
DUIs.
Hold on. I put him back on hold. So even if he wasn't drinking this time and he's telling the truth, does that become probable cause to just assume he's drunk if he's on number 3?
I mean, if they think he's drunk and so out of it, they can order a blood test. But because of the circumstance, they were. It was appropriate to call an ambulance if he was biting his tongue and
his tongue looks horrible.
Yeah. But it's all going to come down to the blood test. And I know Mark Mayberry, who works in my office. He had a case like this, and he had to hire an expert, and it got expensive. But I think on this one, it won't get expensive because it's going to come down to the blood test. It either is or isn't.
And if the blood test's positive, man, and he's been lying to us, I mean, that's it. He's cooked.
And he's in deep yogurt, and with a couple DUIs, that's mandatory jail time.
Isn't number 3 like, isn't that all of a sudden where it goes from misdemeanor to felony in real time?
I believe so, maybe habitual. And I'll tell you what, the third DUI, third alcohol-related offense is a big deal in Colorado.
It's a huge deal. No matter what, he needs to hire an attorney.
I have a question, though. Let me just ask a question. Why in God's name would he be calling a show if he knows that he's drunk and it's going to be his third time? Why would he bother calling us if the blood test's going to come back positive?
I don't know.
Yeah, Yeah, that's a good point. You know, I mean, he's obviously motivated to, you know, he's on some truth, finding mission.
Hey, it's
why didn't he get his medical records? Why didn't he get his medical records from the hospital?
It's very possible, though. Honest to God, guys, it's very possible. They ran him. They saw the 2 priors, and they automatically thought the guy was drunk again. I mean, I could see how that could happen. I mean, it shouldn't happen that way.
Absolutely.
Hey, Alan, no matter what, you should call up either Marco or a criminal defense attorney, no matter what, man. When will the blood test come back? Do you know, Alan?
You know what? After I'm done with this, I'm going to call them and see if it has came back yet, because I stand on my word, Tom.
If it comes back, hold on, Alan. If it comes back as zeros at that point, Marco, I mean, that's when I would just say, hey, I want to talk to the DA. I had a seizure. Here's the pictures of my tongue. It's evident there was nothing in my system. This is just a sham. It's time to drop it.
That's right. Well, not only would that result in a dismissal of criminal charges, but I think he's got a civil action, you know.
Well, that was the second route I wanted to go down. So let's say the blood test does come back and they are willing to drop all the charges. The guy was in jail for 3 days and 6 hours or whatever it was. With governmental immunity, I don't know how far that goes in this situation. But when you really think of damages, if it's only 3 days of lost wages, I mean, what else do you see there? What else is possible?
Well, you got a negligent, if not intentional, you got negligent infliction of emotional distress. I mean, the guy's being held in jail.
I know.
For a crime he didn't commit. And the police, if that blood test was negative and they didn't even they didn't even bother to look at it, I mean, they got troubles. He needs to call me.
Hey, Alan, listen, man, I want you to call Marco. I'm going to give you his number out in a minute, but I want you to call Marco. He can look at both sides of this. Most companies or most law firms specialize in one thing. For example, personal injury. It's a unique situation with Marco having that one attorney that's been with him forever and a day, and all they do is criminal. We can look at this in numerous ways. Hey, Marco, catch up with me on this one. I'm dying to find out what happens on that blood test. Same with you, Alan. You give us a call.
I'm a little interested myself.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to get you in studio here with me soon. Hey, is it still 800 attorney? Is that still good?
It is.
God, I love his phone number.
Attorney, you get Bendinelli Law Firm.
1-800 attorney. You can't beat it, man. That number is easy to remember. 1-800 attorney. Give him a call right now, and we'll catch up on that one. Listen, I am running way behind. We're going to take a break. Patrick's got a question on selling a car, and then a problem with a Subaru. One line open, 303 Martino.
See,
you have a nice day,
point,
sir.
I think that's a valid point. Why would he be calling up and going through all this if he knows it's going to come back? Right?
I'll tell you what, though. The second he said he had 2 priors, man. If this was literally a line in Vegas,
yeah,
I'd go with the blood test is going to come back positive for something. I would.
Why would he be calling up, though?
Because he's desperate. He's on his 3rd DUI. He's facing freaking prison.
But then he would wait till after he got the blood test back.
Doc, I don't know. Why does Todd call up after he passes out flyers to women in the park?
But he's got emotional issues. This guy doesn't sound like he's got issues. Except for calling you Tom.
God, look at this. Some loss of life.
Wow.
We've been in that town. You ever been to Maui?
Yeah, for sure.
I was supposed to go 3 years ago for our
COVID.
Yeah, for our anniversary, 25th anniversary.
Oh, that's where we went on our 25th. We went to Oahu, but first time we were over there.
Still haven't made it back.
Okay, hold on here. I can't stress it enough. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. If you need a water heater, call anywhere. I don't care. You can call all the people out there. You're going to be told $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for a water heater installed. I promise you. If you call up Euro Plumbing, $1,299 gets you a 40-gallon installed. That includes the delivery, the haul away, new water supply lines, new gas lines, the whole bit. Everything. No hidden cost. $1,299, 50-gallon. $13.99. If you want high recovery or fast recovery, you want tankless, they got it all. They really do. They got any water heater you want. Their warranties are incredible. The minimum warranty is 6 years, and everything includes installation. Just give them a call. 303-668-6844, 303-668-6844, or check them out at referralist.com. Yep, soon as that dude said, so, okay, honestly, guys, soon as he said 2 priors,
You know what I can do?
DUIs, so he's up on felony stuff now, if I recall. So if you had to bet, one way or the other, hot or not hot on the blood test, what do you bet?
I'm going hot.
I'm going hot. I hate to say it.
I do too.
I'm going hot.
How much you want to bet it's negative?
You want to go negative?
I'm going negative.
What did I win on that one we did up in, what was that, 100 you paid me?
$100.
$100. I'll give you a chance to get your money back.
You got it.
$100, Doc. I'm saying it's hot.
I'm saying it's negative.
I'm not, listen, I'm saying he had drugs or alcohol in his system.
Okay.
I can text.
Now, what do you think, Brad? Just total guess, nothing to do with law. I don't know. Is a blood test, he does it. He's not going down. You don't like hypothetics.
This isn't hypothetical. This is a bet.
It's a bet.
John, I'll text you here in just a little
Suzanne, what do you think?
She's on the phone.
I bet she thinks hot.
The minute he said
Thanks,
2
man.
times,
Thanks for the
though, that's
support.
the first
Call
thing I
anytime.
thought was,
Bye-bye.
I don't know what dawned on me. I'm sitting there talking to Marco, and I'm going, wait a minute.
Wait, what do I think about what? What?
Do you think the guy's blood test is going to be hot or not?
I think it's going to be totally hot.
Yeah, I
And
think
his
it'll
tongue
burn
looked
you.
gross. It didn't look like a seizure tongue to me.
I'll tell you what, if I was facing prison time on the 3rd DUI and this went down, I might start chewing my own tongue and go down that route too.
Hey, Brad, where would I find that new bill that just went into effect on Monday? What's it called? Or
Well, there's like 5 of them.
okay, it's
Holy
like
moly.
Like on the state website or.
You know what?
Yeah, I can email them to you.
You know what we
please,
should
that'd
do,
be
Brad?
great.
It'd be good for you. If you can, I don't know how you work on your website, but if you could put up a section of your website that shows just the changes, then just as a public service, we can give that out over the air numerous times for landlords. And I think that could lead to phone calls, of course.
Okay. I don't have anything like right now. I'd have to work on something like that.
Yeah, if you want to do that, do it, and then tell Suzanne, send her what page it is.
Okay.
And then we'll figure out how to tell people how to go there.
All right.
Because not just landlords, but, tenants too.
Yep.
But that'll give you some good traction going to the site.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that guy, I can't wait. Now, I do understand where the cops are coming from. So if it does come back, I'm not saying they didn't screw up big time. According to Marco, they could have really screwed up. But if, you pull up, the guy looks drunk, acts drunk, you grab his driver's license, find out he's got 2 priors.
For a similar offense. Yep.
For
the same
DUI.
offense. Yep.
What do they? That's the boy that cried wolf.
But he wasn't really talking about a seizure. Like he wasn't even worried why he had a seizure.
Well, yeah, and he has no idea why he had one.
He's not
That's
surprised.
the thing that struck me a little bit. I would have went to the hospital probably afterwards, obviously.
Guys, we're going to do our very best to get to you by end of
Boy,
show.
you're
Just
not.
hang
Yeah,
tight.
both of
one
you've
call
got
ahead
great
of you.
points. He did not seem concerned that he had this massive change in his health suddenly while driving. That seemed to be the least part of it.
Yep.
Which once again is why Doc's going to owe me $100.
I know 2 people that I've had that just have seizures that have come on later in their life, and they've had to go get them diagnosed because it's just something that keeps happening to them. So
Diabetic seizures are the big ones.
yeah.
Does he schedule a doctor appointment to look into the seizure? No.
Did you know this? If you, I'm sure Brad knows this, but if you have a heart attack while you're driving, and let's say you're not on heart medication or anything, and you run into 5 people, your insurance might not pay a nickel out because it's not
That's crazy.
No, it's true, though. Now, if you were supposed to be on medication and didn't take the medication, but it's an act of God.
Oh, jeez.
We get that probably once a year that we get that call.
But it's not criminal.
No, not criminal. I'm talking just liability.
I know, I'm just saying, but you may be liable for it, but at least you won't be sent in jail.
All right, listen, we have got, oh my goodness, just a ton going on no matter how we look at it.
God bless.
There's so much to that last call. I would love to hear feedback. Email us at help@troubleshooter.com. I'd like to know what you think that blood test is going to come back on. I was thinking of a few things. In fact, Brad O'Brien brought something up. He didn't seem concerned about his health issue. I mean, boom, you have a seizure while driving and all this goes down. He has no idea why he had the seizure. Never happened before. And yeah, he's got bigger things to worry about right now. Maybe. I mean, if you're just going to be blacking out while driving or walking or anything, that's something you probably want to look into. He was very nonchalant about that, though. I mean, very nonchalant.
From not drinking.
I'd love to hear what you think, though. Help@troubleshooter.com. Hot or not hot on the blood test? I'm dying to know. And if it's not hot, the interesting part is with the priors, I can kind of understand where the cops were coming from. I'm not saying it's right, but I can kind of understand it. By the way, Compass Insurance, get that insurance check. I really think you should. If you have not got a quote on your homeowners or automotive or even a commercial policy like Garage Keepers, Workman's Comp, give these guys a call. They shop for me every single year, and they always get me the best deal and the best coverage. CompassInsurance.com. CompassInsurance.com. And speaking of great people, Ideal Home Loans, they're still doing loans. If you're moving right now or you got to get equity out of your house to pay for that high credit card debt maybe you have, and you just basically got to get the loan done, call these guys up. They have the loan guarantee, meaning if you refinance in the next couple years and it's a lower rate, when rates finally do go down, they're not going to charge anything for the refinance. So if you need the money now, but you know you have to, either you're moving or, like I said, you gotta get the loan now. When rates do go down, they'll refi you for free. It's the interest rate guarantee. IdealHomeLoans.com. Now, let's go to this person whose name is Patrick. What is your issue, Patrick, on selling a car, or your question?
My question is, so I live in Elbert County with no emissions, and I'm trying to sell a vehicle that it doesn't have a muffler and it has an oil leak. I'm just trying to cover my. You want
to sell it as a towaway, even if you were selling it. If you were selling it to someone else in Elbert, you want to sell it as a towaway. That's the answer to it. I mean, even if you were selling it to someone that's non-emissions, you still need to have that muffler on there. So just sell it as a towaway. That's all.
How do I do that? Just put that on like the bill of sale or something?
Yeah, just look up towaway. Just look up towaway bill of sale Colorado. You'll find a generic one.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, you can't represent it as a running car. You're representing it as a piece of junk that they need to tow away. That's how you got to represent it. Then they can deal with it. But make sure it's very clear on that bill of sale. And honestly, that brings up another question. Let's say the muffler part had nothing to do with it. Not that it's missing a muffler or cat. Now, if you were in Elbert and you were selling into Douglas County where there's emissions test, you would still have to make sure it passes in the state of Colorado. But if you were selling it to someone out of state, it wouldn't matter, nor would it matter if you were selling it to someone in the state of Colorado in Elbert County where there are no emissions tests.
Even if I wrote down sold as is, not responsible for emissions, and they signed it?
No, you're going to do a towaway. No, listen, if you sell a vehicle in the state of Colorado other than a towaway, there's some other exceptions, but in your case, no. You need to sell it as a towaway. You can't write down doesn't pass emissions because that car is supposed to pass emissions. They have 3 days in the state of Colorado to get an emissions test. If it does not fail, you've got to refund the money. That's how it reads.
All right, I got one more question.
Go ahead.
So if I sell it as a towaway, would that taint the title for them?
It could taint. It could absolutely taint the title for them. They're going to have to ask DMV how to handle that. But I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about protecting you, the guy that called me.
Oh yeah. Yep, that's all I care about.
Yeah, a towaway is a towaway. It's basically like a salvage, man. But that is what they're buying, dude. If it's got no muffler, no matter what, they're buying a towaway. So let them worry about it. Who cares?
All right, perfect.
They can fix it up. There's nothing to stop them from fixing it up and registering it and getting emissions tests.
I'm putting a muffler in it.
And you get it checked out. All they got to do is get it checked out by State Patrol, and the State Patrol will sign off on it. And then if they sign off that it's safe, you get the emissions test, you register it. Yeah, it's going to cloud the title. It's basically going to be a towaway. But who cares? It is a towaway. Eric Shannon, hold on. You're up next.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the LASIK Center.
Starting to calm down out there throughout the Denver metro for the early afternoon hours. Still some slowdowns into downtown. I-25 northbound, we're looking at speeds in the 30s and 40s between Alameda and Colfax. Out east near the airport, I-70 eastbound drivers, you're going to see some slow traffic between Peoria and Pena Boulevard. And of course, out west into the mountains, I-70 east and westbound, watch out for those intermittent closures through Floyd Hill for ongoing blasting operations till about 3 p.m. this afternoon. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, mostly sunny skies out there today. Highs in the low to mid 80s. Overnight low of 60 degrees. Tomorrow high 89. Current temperature is 79 degrees with your Impact Traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Get ready for a life of new vision. Right now at TLC Laser Eye Centers, we're offering 20% off LASIK with our latest Wavelight laser when treated in August. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes with guaranteed financing. Visit saveontlc.com for details.
Man, do I love the guys over at the Art of Granite. You know, Mitch Fleury has got a great story. He came over to this country, 25 years ago with $300 in his pocket. He was in New York, worked his way out to Colorado pretty quick, started fabricating granite for a company, learning about natural stone, learning how to cut it, learning how to install it. Now he owns the Art of Granite. You want the most beautiful countertops like Suzanne and I have. You want the most beautiful bathroom. You want the most beautiful cabinets, the most beautiful sinks. This guy can transform your house. And what I love about Mitch, his pricing is so fair. It's unbelievable. I'm not going to say it's the lowest out there, but it's dang near close. For the quality and the service you get, it's the best bargain out there. Call him up. He might ask for a few pictures, but he'll actually give you a price of that kitchen over the phone. He might need a few measurements, but I don't know anybody else in the biz, any other contractors, with a few measurement and pictures can tell you how much that new kitchen will look or cost. It's just a great company. Call up Mitch, 303-386-5919, 303-386-5919, or check him out at theartofgranite.com. Okay. Brad, what do you want to hit the last couple minutes? What topic would you like to discuss?
I don't know.
Just in general?
I help people buy and sell. You know, most people who have a real estate broker don't hire a lawyer to buy a house or sell a house, but real estate brokers are not allowed to give legal advice. Title companies can't give them legal advice, so they really, even though most people don't hire a lawyer, they probably should.
They do in New York.
Yeah, right.
Man.
Why do you think that is? Why does it seem so? As you go from the East Coast to the West Coast, the need to have an attorney in a real estate transaction
it's just
dwindles.
It's been just local custom. Chicago has on both sides every deal, even small residential deals.
I think Jersey does.
Yeah. Also the pricing, too.
Hey, let me tell you, the biggest asset of most people's lives, I mean,
is their home, of course.
I probably dropped, I didn't know you at the time, but when I bought the last commercial building I owned, I bet I spent $4,000 having all the paperwork done. Then when I was the note carrier and sold it, I spent quite a bit too. But I built all that into the closing cost with the guy. I recouped my money.
It's going to take you. But he literally put a meeting.
It got a little strange with marijuana stuff, though. I didn't have to deal with that aspect. Have you done any leases with marijuana involved?
At least give yourself to the weekend after 5 hours.
That's kind of a specialty, isn't it?
Yeah.
So really, Jeff, it's like I would be surprised
real estate
if he
lawyers
was
who do marijuana,
remote
they do
Friday.
That's all.
I also wouldn't
never got
surprise me
involved
if
in
he's
it.
another week out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that anesthesia.
Now, the thing is, if he did a marijuana job and got paid, could he put that money in a bank? Because banks don't take marijuana money.
Oh, I get very sick.
It would be
after
weird
anesthesia.
your client shows up and is always paying you in cash.
God bless.
Amazon gift cards. Hey, do you
We
take
shall
Amazon
see.
gift cards?
I know Mark and I were getting ready to celebrate 30 years, and we want to book our trip, but we want to see how he is first.
But the marijuana, I mean, they can put it in state banks, but they're not federally insured.
I'm not even sure
you
they
are
can do that
so
yet. I think a
nice.
lot of those
Goodness.
guys are a little iffy on what.
No, I think there's a state bank.
I'm not saying there might be a law passed like that, but I'm
Marcus,
saying if they want
something.
FDI insurance and other stuff for other
Here,
clients,
made mine
I'm not so sure they can take that money. It's a choice they got to make.
Can state banks be FDIC insured?
I
don't
like
know why
doing
not.
This is fun once in a while. I miss the
I
call.
thought if the charter was, doesn't it depend on the charter?
talking to them.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why
It's an insurance pool.
I'm saying that's why I ask questions. So I get answers.
But when I'm in here doing this every day, then I'm working at night doing all the books and.
Then I'm working at night, and I gotta work during the day, and then when I get home, Mark makes me cook and vacuum, and then I gotta do the books at night, and then it all starts all over
You're
again.
such an ass.
It all starts all over.
And then he wants to have sex on top of that.
Oh, then he wants to have sex.
Oh my God. Really, Chris Berger? You got to call in and
That's what I
update
used
the
to tell my
show.
patients. They'd come in and say their husbands that they don't want to
Appropriate.
Look, you tell your husband you're at home
Appropriate.
taking care of 3 kids. You're doing the laundry. You're cleaning. You're going shopping. You're making dinner. You're too fucking tired. Let them chip in, and then
All that stuff you just named is for the first few hours of the morning.
I need a beer now. This is crazy.
Only
You
for
guys
you
are
because you're so
nuts. God.
organized.
You know, I've said this before, and I'll say it again.
Yeah, what?
Women in general have gotten a little lazy, and here's what I mean by that. My grandmother would give birth in the kitchen and would be cooking 3 hours later.
Oh
This is
my
not
God,
happening
I'm
anymore.
smacking you
Doc,
later.
you've delivered thousands of babies.
You're
Back in,
getting
you didn't even
smacked.
have
I'm
a
gonna kick
job
you.
200 years ago.
I'm kicking you. In the car, I'm going to kick you.
It's true, though.
I just would have had a different specialty. That's
Seriously,
all.
though.
If I was a woman, I would have a baby at home
Oh, my God.
and
You
make
can't
dinner that
handle
night.
a
Wouldn't even think twice about
cold. You can't even handle a cold, Mark. You're crying.
it. No.
Oh, Savvy's going to hold you down so I can kick you. Yes, Savvy, that's my girl.
When he had a problem with his nose, he couldn't stop whining about it.
For months,
That's my
he
nose.
still whines.
House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan joins as well on the Joe Pag Show. Tonight from 6 to 9 on 630 KHOW.
All right, don't forget 303-713-8255. 303 Martino works on and off the air. Help at troubleshooter.com. We got a ton going on tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss the show. Remember, you can always check us out on YouTube. Type in Troubleshooter Network. You can hear what we talk about during breaks. It's kind of a show within the show. Brad O'Brien, my guest today. I appreciate you coming in. One of the things we were talking about last break, anytime you buy and sell property, you know the funny part, Brad, New York, New Jersey, Chicago, a lot of places you have to have an attorney by law. You can't have a real estate transaction without having an attorney involved. It's kind of crazy how Colorado's not that way. It's your number one biggest assets. If you're buying or selling property, you want to hire a real estate attorney to look over it. And then the other thing I really want to stress that I know you have helped a lot of people out with are these leases. If they have not updated to these newest changes, you might have tenants in your place that have a totally wrong lease. You might have things in your lease with pet deposits that aren't allowed anymore. And a lot of the other things we talked about, you can look at them and update the leases, right?
Yes, I'm a real estate lawyer doing both transactional work and disputes involving real estate. So,
Anything real estate.
buy, sell, leases, any kind of dispute.
Anything. He would have saved that one guy $15,000 with KB Homes this morning. If you looked at that, that guy didn't realize there was no way of getting that money back. 720-370-7388, olslaw.com. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Tom Martino and stay connected with all of us at 630 KHOW, KHOW.com, and on the iHeartRadio app. Leland Conway is next on Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW.